Have you heard the most recent chess scandal?
Was it with that beach thing? I'm like, okay.
I mean, this is the Beethoven to the ear thing. He's not smart enough to really play chess, so he says, "Fuck you, universe.
Yeah.
I'm gonna figure this out one way or another."
And they're all like, okay, he's probably all thinking like, okay, if this is true, obviously, but okay, I have my phone, and that's gonna be too obvious. They're gonna know that, this is gonna come up in the metal detector. But you know what? They won't be checking the good old prison wallet.
The prison wallet. Welcome to Riches and Rags, episode 16. My name is Tyler Delao, a.k.a. Lil Teabags, a.k.a. The Real Vanilla Bean, coming at you from delaostudios. I'm joined here today by Jordan Gately, the owner and founder of Levon Blue.
Yes, sir. That is correct.
How are you doing today, sir?
Oh, doing great. Loving this weather out here. Just, loving it.
Woo! Happy fall, everybody. Just before we get started, I just have two quick announcements for all of our listeners out there. The first one is our rags are here. Our products as Delao Studios have arrived. We've got beach towels, bath towels, rags, satin robes, and a Sherpa blanket. We've included a few different designs. We've got stuff you can see on the screen. I won't talk about it too long. And the second announcement that we've got coming up, go to delaostudios.com and buy that stuff. It'll help us out a lot. And then the second announcement is week 2, night 3 of Night of the Living cover bands. If you're in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and you like live music, this is going to be a very fun night. There's a lot of cool bands coming. I will be doing keys for my friend's band, Blatzenia. We're covering Jamiroquai. So you can get your tickets at launchpadrocks.com. If you guys want to come see some live music, come out. Right on. Cool. So, what is Levon Blue?
So, Levon Blue is a little bath and body product store that my mom and I started. Well, initially we were doing it for ourselves because we just were spending far too much money on bath bombs and other alike products. But we started it out of our house, and it kind of started taking off, with friends being like, oh, can you make me this? Sure. And then, of course, she had at her job like a little place she could kind of sell up at the front desk from, and kind of just snowballed downhill at that point. Just started being to the point where like I couldn't be really working my other job and doing this at the same time. So we kind of decided to bite the bullet in 2018 and go ahead and open up a store in Nob Hill.
Nice. And you said you have a interest in chemistry. We talked a little bit before this show, and how did that come into play?
So it's kind of one of those things. You look at something and you just go kind of, I wonder if that would be fun. It seems fun, and you start looking at it, and it's people. And some people were saying like, okay, well, it's a lot of math if you want to do it this way. And I'm like, well, I mean, I didn't mind math.
Did you design this website?
No, I do not do website design. I will say that I can make soaps, I can make products. Nope. That is actually one of my mom's contacts.
It's a really professional looking website for sure. People, you can order stuff too, right?
Oh yeah, you can order right on there. There's a delivery menu and everything.
Do you ship outside of our city and state?
Yes. Only thing I haven't done yet is the outside the country.
Outside. So if you're in the United States, you can get some of these products, and you've got a lot of different stuff. I mean, we'll be talking about a lot of them in the episode. But, But let's learn a little bit about who you are first before we dive too much into your business. I mean, tell me about your story, man.
So, oh gosh, let's see where to start. So, I mean, I'm an only child. I guess I should probably start with that. And I mean, I kind of like being an only child. I'm not going to lie. You kind of get a lot more attention to yourself. But I really started off with an interest in just making things. It was food initially. I loved making food from ever since I could remember. I always helped my mom bake, do the cooking for Thanksgiving, Christmas, insert the blank for the meal. I went to culinary school actually for a while after I got out of high school and went to C&M and did the program over there. It was fun.
Did you finish it? Did you get any like certifications or anything?
Did not, because after the first semester, I was actually still going. I was still actually working at Bravo, and I ended up having a really good deal for getting like full-time job there, and then going to help open up with the owner of Matucci's now, John Haas. I basically got to do like a hands-on kind of internship and train with him. So ended up being a lot better. I learned a lot more, especially on how to like open a restaurant. That was a lot. A lot of money goes into restaurants.
So you decided, you looked at the profit margins and the amount of effort it goes into everything, and you kind of said, well, maybe I don't want to dive into that.
That, and what really got me was the long hours. The working till like midnight easy, 1 o'clock in the morning, any, Mother's Day, any holiday pretty much that was big that you'd want to spend with family.
So autonomy of your time is pretty high up there on the list of priorities.
Yep. I stay up late at night, but I like to stay up late in my own home.
Yeah, that's fair. I agree with that. I do that as well.
Yep. Like I'm one of those people. I almost feel like an old man. I like to be home by like 6:30, and I may stay up till 1 or 2, but I just don't want to go anywhere past that.
Well, this city gets a little weird too. Like my father always say, nothing good happens after 10 o'clock. I had to learn the hard way.
Yep. I think that's probably the truest statement right there.
Have you ever been in any questionable scenarios here?
Yeah, and they were usually all related to being like 16, 17, 18, and pretty much, nothing good happens after 10 o'clock. Yeah. So me and the boys decided to go out for 10 o'clock just looking for stupid stuff, and stupid stuff we found.
Yeah, so don't go out looking for stupid stuff, people.
I cannot recommend it.
Oh, yeah, that's, again, my issue there with the mic. Right on. You went to culinary school, and then you decided you didn't want to do that. Were you at any point thinking, like, I want to open up a restaurant? Or you just wanted to cook for...
Yeah, see, that's something I still toy with the idea of, because it's a very different beast, if you will, being on the line working for other people than if you can be in charge of your own. But I mean, if I were to ever do anything, it wouldn't be like... It'd be something very small, more like I would be like an investor of this one for someone who had a good idea, not really trying to get back in there myself and run things. I much prefer making the soaps, the products, the skincare. It's a lot more relaxing.
So you definitely make all of your products by hand. You do the actual like chemical mixing of them.
Yes, like my soaps, I start with the sodium hydroxide, and then on some recipes I'll use distilled water, but on most of them I use aloe vera liquid.
Is it fair to say yours are like cleaner, more organic materials?
Yes. It's because I can't remember the exact process, but you do get a byproduct of glycerin when you make your own soap. So it's like, you hear people talking about, oh, the glycerin soap. And yes, they're very good, but the soap already has glycerin in it. And in addition to the way I do the oils, I do a super fat on them. So that's the way you're ending up with a lot more moisturizing bars, so it doesn't strip your skin of all its beneficial properties.
Damn. Yeah, I had never even heard of glycerin soap. I don't know what that is.
Yep, it's usually those really cool ones. You'll see people do like the embeds in it, like that clear soap with like like sometimes seashells or like little shamrocks. It's really popular for a lot of the melt and pour things, and glycerin itself you can actually use in a lot of product for help with like moisturization and such. I don't use it a lot in things. I find other oils to be more beneficial, but it's got a lot of uses.
You've got your bag of stuff in the room, right? Or did we leave that outside?
I think we might have left that on the table.
We'll bring that in after we do the break. Yeah, because the break ends on me talking about. So we'll get into all that cool stuff here at the end. Tell me more about your like business practices. Like, how much of the business aspect are you running? Because if you're making the chemicals, like what else are you doing on the more like business end?
That is my mom. She does a lot more of the numbers, making sure the pricing's on point. I do far better with actually like making the product and coming up with that end, and then actually running the day-to-day, the sales, making sure all the square's working properly, the internet's working properly. But she usually does a lot of the actual like business, and then my dad actually does a lot of our taxes.
Okay,
so that's how we end up, or that's how we're able to do a lot of this, is we don't have to sit down and file everything ourselves.
So this is also an anomaly here in America too, and I'm really glad that you're talking and opening about this, because this is a family business.
Yep.
Yeah, this is awesome, because there's a whole mentality. You're 18, get out.
Yeah.
You're not getting an inheritance. It's my money.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I know what I'm doing.
Well, this is the right way to do things, I think, and it's because like who better to be buckling down with than your own family,
Oh yeah, and I mean I was actually kind of thinking about that recently. Is it's people are like, oh yeah, you're all like 100% self-made. And I'm like, yeah, I did a lot on my own, but I'm not gonna deny the fact that I've had my two parents coming in and helping me out a lot, helping fund me. So I'm like, yeah, I mean I worked hard myself, but I've got a lot of help going into this, and I think, like you say, that's how it should be. Family should help family.
Well, you're there, like physically making them, and you were selling up the products too. Because when I went into your shop, to buy it, like you were Johnny on the spot with like informing me, and you're super friendly, man. Because some people they're like, let me hang out in the back and not worried about it.
Yep,
that's super important too. When I came in, was it yesterday? Some chick wanting to refill her candle.
Yeah.
It's like, how many things are you doing with the shop? You're really like maximizing out every aspect of it.
Yeah, because we'll do that. Yeah, we'll have people, if you bring your candle jar back in, we tell you don't even have to clean it out. We'll take care of it, and we'll give you some like money back off your next purchase per candle jar brought in. Yeah,
so
trying
clever.
to encourage all the recycling. Oh yeah.
Do you get a lot of the same regulars?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. Especially this time of year with the, especially as it's colder out, people want more candles. Oh, yeah, I've got people who I see at least once a week.
That's awesome. How important is that to establish that like local community?
That is what kept me going through 2020 during the pandemic. If I didn't have those local people coming to my store basically and, doing the curbside, delivery, all that, I would not have made it.
Well, here, that's another interesting point is the curbside, because like they weren't able to go in your shops, right? Yeah, man. So was the curbside offered like before the pandemic? Did you already have delivery and curbside kind of set up, or
Nope.
this was an adaptation to the scenarios at hand, and that is probably why it's so successful.
Yep. Yeah, it was hard to get new people, but the existing customers, because we did like a really cheap delivery fee, just to make it easier for people. So especially like some days I'd have 6 or 7 deliveries, and they were all usually in the same zip code. So by the end of it, I was like, oh yeah, well that actually works perfect.
Nice. What's your favorite stuff to make?
That's a tough one. It depends on I guess it would either be soaps or candles, and the reason there's an or in there is because candles are pretty much always consistent how you make them. It's a very easy hour and a half process depending on the batch size you're making. Soaps, if I'm making like a lavender soap, and it has nothing to do with the scent as much as it does with the actual makeup of whatever I'm putting in there. Like a lavender soap, one of the easiest to make. It takes 2.5 hours for my method to do it, but you have a lot of time. Like, you're like, oh, a customer comes in, sure, they want to talk for an hour, you're fine. The thing's mixing in the back, don't even need to check on it. Soap like honeysuckle, jasmine, or lilac, it's a different story, because as soon as you get the ball rolling on that one, it's more like 30 minutes rather than 2 hours. So if you're not paying attention, like you're talking with the customer.
Well, what happens if you wait too long? What happens
you get
to the
a
soap?
bowl of hard soap.
Hard soap.
Yep, you can't pour it out, and it's pretty much useless at that point.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, it's like that because it reaches a thing called trace, so it kind of looks like cake batter is essentially the consistency I go for pouring it, but it's going to keep thickening up.
But eventually it's going to get hard no matter what, so you're putting it into a mold or something?
Yeah, like those like things you saw in the back of my store, like those like nice long like log kind of looking things.
Okay, yeah.
That's what I pour it into, so then you can cut it with that cool little soap cutter, and yeah, that's what I go for. But I've had a few, unfortunately, that I didn't make fast enough.
But so here's a scenario. You've got a super chatty customer.
Yep.
Let's say this first scenario A, you're not sure if they're going to buy anything. Are you going to keep talking to them to try and sell them something, or are you going to go fix your batter?
I usually just at that point bring them to the back, and I'm just like, hey, well, I mean, I got to actually take care of this. We can keep talking, though, if you want.
Smart.
And they're like, oh, what are you doing? And
so scenario B would be the same as that was going to say, like, they're probably going to buy a lot. So do you sacrifice the stuff in the back and make the sale, or?
Yeah, I've got a few customers where if I know, it's especially if it's one of the other soaps, I'm like, oh, yeah, no, I'm not worried about that one. And a lot of times I've done that, and I thought it was going to be ruined, and I go to the back, and it's still good.
Hey, right on. That's crazy that just the scents themselves would be changing the hardness and quickness of it.
And some you can't even make into a soap.
Is it like the type of oil extract? To
Yeah, it's like the way, because even some of the straight essential oils will react differently with a soap. Like a citrus one, you don't want to use as much of that as you would of like a lavender or anything, because the citrus could kind of break things down. And you could end up with, like, it'll initially pour, but then you could come back later on and it's like a very not appetizing looking soup.
What gave you the initial inspiration to dive into like the soaps and candles and stuff? Was there anyone you were working for, or like?
Yeah, I was actually working in Old Town for a bit at this other little soap shop, and they didn't make the soap there at the time. And the guy always said, "Oh, we make our soap," and I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool." I just didn't like telling people that when they could look in the back and see there was not enough room to make soap. So I kind of at that moment I was like, well, how hard would it be to actually
have a shop in the back?
Yeah, and like make soap. I'm like, is it? I was wondering. I'm like, does he not do it because it's like, is it this really stupid hard process? And then I read it and I was like, okay, so you just you got to take the necessary safety steps, make sure you're not gonna hurt yourself or anything.
Seems like a pretty safe process. I mean, you're making stuff that's going on in your body.
Yeah, the hardest part about it, where you just really got to be like, I guess, careful on, is whenever you do the actual sodium hydroxide and either the water or the aloe vera liquid mixture. That right there does make a very powerful base. So the way I do, I mean, the full recommended way is put on a mask, wear the safety goggles, and that's what I would recommend anyone out there doing it, especially for your first time, to do. But I worked in a kitchen, so let's be honest, you take a lot of unnecessary a lot of unnecessary risks. But what I do is I usually mix it just far away from me, because I know exactly the mixture I'm going to do. I know how much it's going to produce, and I just stand a good distance back. Occasionally I'll be wearing a mask, usually because I forgot to take it off. But the main thing is just mix it quickly and then treat it like you would treat a pot of boiling water. Like you wouldn't be swinging that around. You wouldn't do anything stupid with a pot of boiling water. You wouldn't do anything stupid with a mixture of lye. Treat it like that, and you're pretty much good.
See, I'm so clumsy. I feel like I might end up burning myself on accident or something. as simple as it is, because I've done it cooking.
Yep, it's one of those ones that when it is nicer though than boiling water. You get that on your hand, that hurts immediately. You got the red already. Your skin's tightening. This one, it'll more like it gets on you, and if your next step is walk over to the sink and wash it off.
What's the worst accident you've ever had? And it doesn't have to be like a physical injury, but like, what's like the worst catastrophe? Because I mean, you
got two of them.
It's like a science lab.
Yep.
I can only imagine volcanoes or something.
I've got two of them, and like most accidents in a lab, it's usually due to some sort of negligence on the person's part, and it was mine on both these times. One time I was mixing something. I had it in the microwave. I don't remember, but it was an oil mixture, and I got it really hot, like far hotter than I should have. And I didn't even think about it. Just grabbed the cold thermometer. I just had it in some water and just pop it right in there, and it just instantly reacted and goes right all over my hand. And I'm like, well, this was fun. I mean, it burned a bit, but like I said, coming from culinary, I've actually had like duck fat all over my hand. I've had a bad burn there. So that was more like a inconvenience. It was just kind of ow, I don't want to break this glass. I'm going to put it down gently. And then the second time.
Was it the same mistake?
Thankfully, no. The second one was more of I can totally leave this immersion blender standing up in this bowl. It's not going to fall over at all and knock the whole bowl of soap out onto me. Yeah, Yeah, unfortunately, I was cleaning soap out of my shoes. Soap does not clean out of shoes.
No.
Not when it's still in its liquid form. It does ruin shoes.
Okay.
It's in that liquid form, and it's still a little warm too. So you kick those shoes off pretty quick, and you look at it, and you can only be mad at yourself because you're like, I thought that would stay. I don't know why I thought it would stay. It never has before.
What's like the size that these come in when you're pouring them? Because I'm just trying to imagine it in my head, like, because I'm thinking like a cake bowl, just like a small one.
Yeah, so actually I use a KitchenAid like mixing bowl that you would see for like pretty much your standard batches. So I do a 3 pound, mainly the 3 pound batches is the one people like because that mold's like a higher rectangle shape. People like that better. Used to do a 5 pound batch, but it made it like a perfect square. And people liked the the other one over that one, so stopped doing that one. But then we do have another one we do for around like state fair time or any big events where we need to make a lot of soap. It's a 10-pound batch, and I have to like do 2 bowls. And I have that, I think I showed you a little bit, that huge like wooden mold. It's like this big.
Box under the candles?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, okay.
That's what I pour that
It's
into.
probably the size of maybe like 3 shoe boxes.
Oh, easily, yeah.
Yeah, for any of the just listeners, just for the descriptions.
Yep, it makes like 36 bars of soap, so in like one batch. It's a big one.
And I'm gonna spill my idea here while we're on the box,
Yeah.
because I mean, does anybody really own an idea out there in the world? So I'm gonna, if anyone can actually pull this off, I mean, I'm sure you and I would love to see this, and he and I are actually probably gonna try this in January after his holiday rush. So the idea is cymatic frequency expressions into the soap. Or into the candle wax. Or probably would just be soap.
Probably the soap would be the
Yeah.
easiest medium, I think. I mean, I have no clue, but I'm more than, like I say, I think we give it a shot and see what we can do with it.
Yeah, Cameron, can we get some pictures of cymatic sound expressions? It'll be with a C, C-Y-M-A-T. They're like solfeggio frequencies. So for every certain frequency, I think you can get like 369 hertz. There we go. There's some good pictures, and it'll break it down on different hertz on some of those pictures. But basically, when you get a tone and you push it through like a plate of sand or like water over the speaker, you'll get a shape like this. So I was thinking, why not try it with soap? And I was thinking, like, because soap, how long does it take to dry and set?
So like like the lavender one takes after like from start to finish, it'll probably be about 3.5 hours from when it's actually like ready to go. But one like the honeysuckle will probably be ready in like 45 minutes.
Yeah, the quicker the better, because I mean, if we can set it up, like I can provide the audio equipment. I can get like a good speaker and speakers or however with some bass frequencies, and I can do testing on water to make sure that I can find the right tone.
Right.
I can handle that aspect of it. If you can take care of the other.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
I've got a couple that would be perfect for like the way they get. And there's like a few different variations of how fast they get ready. So yeah, I've got a few that should work.
I don't know if it would, because it might like move a little bit, but
I know.
It could be an interesting science project.
That's what I think. It definitely gonna be one of those ones where I'm like, okay, I just want to see what happens with this.
And I think I want to document it to, like, get the cameras involved just to see what will happen. But call out to anybody who thinks they can pull this off too. I mean, it would be pretty impressive. And there's a frequency 528 hertz, the love frequency. And that would be a good shape to sell for like weddings and stuff.
And like Valentine's Day especially too.
Valentine's Day?
Yeah.
Yeah. What does that frequency look like? Can we see what 528 hertz looks like? And it's pretty cool. There's some music videos on YouTube where they do it with the sand on the plates, the water on the speakers, and they also do like fire through like organs. Like the fire, like tubes of flame will go up depending on the tones that's being played. Yeah, I guess I don't know which one it is. There's a lot of just trippy patterns now.
All look cool though.
But this is what sound actually looks like. If you were to say like, what does sound look like? I mean, this is an impression of what it is bleeding through in the visual landscape, and that's pretty crazy. Now, if you actually look at some of these, like tops of cathedrals and tops of churches look a lot like cymatic expressions. Like if you're looking at them, they almost look like the top, like you're inside a church looking up.
Yeah. That's kind of cool. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, this is some just like ancient secrets. Yeah, we could put like cymatic expressions in churches or something, or just like the ancients had such a knowledge of the natural world that I don't think we were fully aware of. And these grand architectures. Yep, see some like that. Like how that's a cymatic frequency in the dome. So for the listeners, these, I don't know what period, Renaissance period. What period would you say this is? You're a smart guy, right?
Oof, horrible history. It's
all edited
Renaissance,
anyways.
I'm pretty sure.
But they're these beautiful, beautiful churches and mosques and stuff, and they've got all these designs, and they look just like those sound expressions on the roof.
It's pretty never made that correlation.
And some of them are, the glass windows. They look like that as well. yeah, just a cool little coincidence there. Or maybe it's not. Maybe they knew what they were doing.
Hey, I think that's. I never even put two and two together on that one.
But anyways, that's away from that divergent point. Damn. All right. Tell me more about your story, man.
All right.
You ever lived anywhere else, or it's only been here in the 505?
Pretty much only born and raised here. Got family down like south, but yeah, in terms of actual like travel or
You
any
looked
other
a little
places,
Mexican to me.
Yeah, they're like Alabama and Georgia, and then my mom and dad are both from Arkansas, but they for some reason decided to move out to Albuquerque.
A lot of people do, and a lot of people did during the pandemic.
Yeah,
A lot of new license plates here.
I've noticed that. I always think it's crazy when I see a Hawaii license plate here, though.
Yeah, getting a car over the seas, it's just a lot of money.
That's what always I think about. I'm like that cannot be cheap.
That's just, when people have that much money, it's just what it costs. They don't care. Just like if you've got like that kind of car and like, the ticket, you could drive it as fast as you want. They're just going to give you a ticket for it. You're like, yeah, I don't care. I'll just drive it fast again and get a ticket again.
Take a check.
Yeah. It's just to a rich person, that's just what it costs to drive fast. It's not a punishment for driving fast.
Yeah.
It's the fee for driving fast.
Yeah. It's like it's like a $120 or like $200 ticket, and we're like,
yeah. Oh man. I don't pay my speeding tickets. I fight them in court.
Yep, I was gonna say the last one I think I got. I went to court and fought it, but I got really lucky the first few times I got pulled over for speeding. Let me off with warnings, and I'm like, okay, cool, I'll take it.
Yeah, I mean, hey, well, it's like a few miles an hour, right?
Yeah,
it's like there's no one on the road. He's just waiting because he's bored.
Yeah, the one that
we know what's going on.
Yep, yeah, the one that was the one that was like a real stickler was this goes back to the nothing good happens after 10 p.m. Went to go get some donuts with my buddy at like 1 a.m. the Krispy Kreme, on the west side, and man, we were heading back, and I didn't even know that like at some point in Alameda is like a different, slower speed limit at a couple points, and it's like the residential section.
Yeah,
we were going like 10 over or something. I didn't even know it. Literally the only car on the road, the whole 30-minute interaction with the cop. The only one who showed up was another cop to make sure he was okay. And I mean, this guy was like getting like for like everything. Oh gosh, I was like, okay, cool, man. I'm like, I just wanted donuts, but yeah, nothing good after 10 p.m.
But they're doing their job, and I can appreciate and respect police. I mean, one of my favorite pastimes is to just like smoke a lot of weed and watch live PD on YouTube after a long, hard day's worth of work. It is really fun, they're doing a good job with the new episodes of live PD on YouTube.
I haven't seen the new ones,
dude. They just put out some new ones in the last couple weeks, and it's funny because they're like. It's like extra nice. You can kind of tell like what's going on. They're trying to put the police in a good light. Like they're letting people kiss each other goodbye as they're getting arrested. Can I kiss my girlfriend goodbye? Yeah, kiss her goodbye. And then, all right, we're going to take you to jail now.
And before it's just like, no, get in the car.
Yeah, no. Back in the 80s, there's old ones where it's like, oh, you're black? Let's pepper spray you in the car. And then the chase is on. Like, dude, times have changed. It was horrible what they did to people then now and back then. But, police, they're also good people in the police force, too. So it's like you can't categorize everyone as this or everyone as that. So
I feel like most interactions is like one of those things I like to look at. I'm like, I'll judge that by a case by case.
Yeah.
I'm like,
you got to look at it case by case.
Yeah, because it's always the bad ones that ruin it for everyone else. Like ruin the name, just ruin all the bad.
Did you ever want to join the Army? Or the police or anything like that?
So I thought about it for a while, but the thing that just the amount of the crap you got to deal with from people. Whew, I don't have the best patience on the planet.
It sounds like why you ended up like running a business. That autonomy that
Yep.
It's super important.
I've seen some of the cases, especially a lot of those like Karen videos out there where they call the cops, and it's like you see the looks on some of these cops' faces. Like,
oh yeah, you see the bullshit they deal with. Like, that's what I'm saying.
They're just sitting there and they're like, and it's just they're like, no, it's my job to actually listen to you, and I'm just I couldn't.
Yeah, some of them ended up being like therapy sessions where they were just talking to people, and I'm like, this is not what I wanted to watch. I wanted to watch some car chases.
Yeah,
I want to watch them shoot at each other. No,
then you
I don't
see
watch
someone
anybody shoot each other. That's not okay.
No, but like I like the high speed chase ones. Those are kind of fun. Or like the ones just like the rate that they just straight chases or something. I always love the one where it's like they ask them like, why are you running? Because you were chasing me. I was like,
that happens a lot. That's surprising. It's like almost like does the animal instincts kick in?
Because I'm even thinking, I'm like, if I just saw someone chasing after me, I think my like flight instinct would probably kick in before anything else registered. And then like in the middle of the run, I'd be like, what am I doing?
I don't know, man. Yeah, that's a tough one.
Hopefully I never have to find out. I really hope.
At that point, maybe a new virus is out,
Yeah.
The zombie pandemic virus.
Oh, and that's always the thing I like to ask. It's like people are like, "Oh, would you survive a zombie apocalypse?" And it's always the question, what kind of zombies? Walking Dead? Maybe. Are we talking like 28 days later? Because my cardio is not that good.
I don't know, Cameron. Do you think you'd be able to survive a zombie apocalypse?
No.
I think I'd be one of the first people out.
Yep.
We did things like paintball when I was a teenager. Super easy to get shot. I'm not very fast or agile.
Yep.
I'm clumsy and I fall over, so it's like, who knows which one would just be right there around the corner.
Yep. I'm quick, but I'm just like, when I saw some of those, like I say, the 28 days later, 28 weeks later zombies, those things just like go after you like a marathon runner who's been training for 6 years. And I'm like, okay, I can, all out sprint and outrun him for a good minute, but then my heart's going to give out and I'm dead.
I bet with your chemistry knowledge, you could cook up some at least defensive or trap like things.
Yes, just start coming up with some stuff. Oh man,
that would be very interesting. Yeah, we don't want to get censored on YouTube,
right?
Talking about how to make a bomb.
I know. I always think about that's funny too. Is I'm like, especially when I'm ordering some of the stuff, and it's like, hey, give me like 50 pounds of lye, and I'm like, it's always an interesting order to place.
50 pounds of lye?
Yeah.
What does that indicate? What is lye?
It's the sodium hydroxide used for making soap, but I mean, it can be used for anything from soap to all sorts of nefarious purposes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So when you see a huge order for it, you're thinking,
It's like, I mean, now after having placed that order for years and being a registered business, it was more sketchy in the beginning when
for you to get it. Yeah, okay.
Because there's someone out there looking at you like, so what? This guy's ordering a lot more lye lately. First it was like 2 pounds, now it's like 8 pounds, and so it still something feels weird about it. Just anytime you order that, because it's just.
Have you hit a bottleneck point? Like, because obviously you're growing, you're ordering more and more. Is there like a bottleneck point you've hit, or you're like
not yet?
Not yet. Do you think it would be feasible at one point to like really expand your business?
Oh yeah, because I have methods that I would do to be able to have like people help me make things without giving away the details of every recipe. Like I have a lot of those methods down. It's just like for the holiday, I usually have 1 or 2 employees helping me out because I can easily, there's so much business, I can afford having someone in consistently. But then, January hits and February hits, and the consistent business is enough to, keep things afloat, especially from what we made from the holidays, but it's not enough for me to have an employee come in regularly until like at least halfway through the year. So I'm hoping though it gets to the point, because if it can stay, kind of like holiday busy, or at least like half that throughout, then I can, it'd make things a little bit easier on me. So maybe I wouldn't have to work 6 or 7 days a week. I could have like someone come in for like 2 days and just for sure take those 2 days off. But
right.
I've got ways I want to make it happen, but at the same time, when hiring someone, I want to be able to guarantee them like X number of hours. I can, for sure pay you this. I just hate having to like hire someone and then be like, yeah, so I know I said I could pay you, and I know you got bills, but
have you had to hire an employee yet or no?
Yeah, I have one. I actually hired her last year, and so because she's working a second job. But she's still working with us this year again for the holidays. So I'm like, yes,
that's awesome. Yeah, I mean, that's so cool.
Yeah, I like being able to, because that's the thing is, it's like I want to be able to have just regular employees regularly.
Dude, I think you'll get there, man. Because like when I walked into your shop, man, it was nice. You had a lot of cool stuff in there.
Yep.
Like we'll talk about it now. We'll show it later. We'll show it later because it's after the break. But he's got these. He shapes them into cake. Pies.
Yeah, looks like an apple pie.
Looks like a literal apple pie, like you could eat it. Have you had anyone try and eat them in your store?
I've actually got a funny story about that. No one in the store has tried to eat them, but I did have a nice elderly lady. She came in and we were talking for a bit, and she was seemed a little upset. And at first I thought she was mad at me, but she was like, yeah, I have to get another one of these pie soaps. And I was like, oh, well, what happened? Did you use it? She's like, no, my grandson decided to take a bite out of it. And she's like, I was so mad at him. She's like, it ruined my soap. And I'm like, well, I can tell you, he will never do that again.
At home, because oh no.
Yeah, I'm like, I can just imagine it too, because they smell so good.
Could you imagine what if he was just like saying bad things, and she's like, just keep saying stuff, Timmy. I'm gonna wash your mouth out with soap.
Yes.
Use the
She's probably just sitting there and she's like, oh, I don't know. You just took a bite out of it.
Yeah. She's probably, he definitely won't say that stuff again. He won't eat that pie again.
Yep, it's one of those things that like, I've never got. Like, I can say I've never gotten like a mouthful of soap. I've never just taken a bite out of it, but I've had like some of it, like kind of splash into your mouth, or like you get some under your fingernails and you kind of like get it, and just the tiniest bit of soap tastes so.
It's not fun.
Bad.
It's not fun.
I can't.
It's not a good experience.
Yeah, I don't think that kid will be doing that again. I can definitely say that.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's the non-edible soaps, but however, I have been inside, adult shops, and I've found edible candles, but they've usually been garbage. So have you thought about making an edible candle, and do you think it's even possible to make a good tasting edible candle? It's not just like, because that might not even be possible. It's probably just a gimmick, right?
I was gonna say that's the thing right there. The closest you could try and do would be make some sort of like cocoa butter candle, but the issue,
butter.
Yeah, that's the only, because it still need to be like some sort of solid butter. But the problem with that one is it is a lower melt point, and if you were to try to add any sugar to that just seems like a lawsuit waiting to happen.
Yeah.
But I don't see, that's the thing, as I'm like, I don't think you'd be able to find a good meat. You know what I mean? I don't think you could make a good tasting edible candle. Either way, you're,
because I've tried a few, man. They're just not good. I mean,
Yep.
they're like decent for like the body massage oil, like they're like the
Yeah.
hybrids. Like, have you made any of those?
I haven't on those ones, mainly because like it's more of a cost thing on my end, because the specialty wax I'd need for that would end up making those cost so much more, and there's not enough demand for it in my store yet. But that's kind of the only reason. I've made some cool things before where it's for like the Valentine's Day stuff, and yeah, a lot of people are like, oh, that's cool, and it just stays on the shelf.
Really?
Yep.
Yep.
It's one of those ones I'm like, okay, all right.
They probably, I think they're all pussies, dude. They're all
I know.
too scared of
I'm
it.
like, that's it
Hot
right
wax
there.
on me, no.
I know. I'm like, and it's funny too. 'Cause I'm like, well, it depends on the wax, one and two. And I'm
It
like,
feels
it's-
nice. I mean, you
Yeah.
got to spread it real quick though. If you're just like putting direct hot wax,
Yeah.
like, I mean, it's not even that bad. But
No.
it's like,
and I'm like I said, coming
because
from
it's designed.
yeah,
for
and
the
coming
body.
from getting mad burns all the time and culinary, I'm like, okay, the hottest wax I've ever seen even being able to use for that is like 130, 135, and I'm like, yeah, that's on the high end, but come on, that's not gonna. It's not. It's not like getting like oil on you or like even boiling water.
Yeah.
But that one day I would like to look more into that. I'll probably have to make like a more unique kind of, you know what I mean? Like a more specialty one for that. And then I'll probably have to find a way to do discreet.
You like have to hide it on a high shelf in your shop, or like even just hide it on like a different tab on the website or something. And be like,
Yeah.
you can't buy this in my shop.
Right. Yeah. I'd be like, nope. And then we'll like ship it to you.
Maybe
all.
you could. I don't know. There's
yeah.
a few ways around it, but I don't know.
I was like, what was like Chili Addict or something? Has that like XXX section or something where it's all like hot sauce behind? Like...
No, what? You put chili?
No, I'm dead serious, man. You go to Chili Addict, they got
What?
like a section and it's like behind like curtains or something. And it's because, yeah, like I went there once when I was like 12 and we were getting like the stupidest hot sauce you could get because why not?
I thought you were talking about putting hot chili extract in the candle or the.
No. I mean, I'm sure there's a market for that. And I'm probably sure if I did that, I could probably sell a lot to people.
The jackass community.
Yep.
We want to prank each other.
Yep. I was actually, yeah. I mean, because it's pretty similar to what me and the boys did to one of our friends with that same said chili. Yeah.
What were you saying about the hot sauce?
Oh, but yeah, it's like weird because they had a section there that it's like it's like you must be 18 or older to go there, and we're like, what do you mean? And it's just because it's got a bunch of like hot sauce with really like interesting names, provocative names, and like just very funny pictures and everything.
What was behind there?
That's it. It was just like the hot sauce that was just
it
like
was just the hot sauce?
like names that you couldn't put out on the normal shelf. It was like
Oh, okay.
Master
So,
or
it was the names of the hot sauce that
Yeah.
had to be hidden behind. No, because I think you can't. I don't think you can advertise profanity
yeah.
publicly. Can we fact check this, Cameron? This would be interesting to know. Like, if we can, what does it have profanity on a public product?
Yeah, like at least not without like some sort of like because like this one you
Discretion.
had to like literally
Right.
like pull some curtains back behind.
How would we? What would he's already on it? He's
Oh, sweet.
Can you have profanity on public product? Well, it's legal to curse in public. We have freedom of
Right.
speech. Let's see. Obscene, indecent on Add advertising products. Broadcast, advertiser, regulated. Okay. Let me read that. So for all the
FCC.
listeners, broadcaster advertisements are regulated by the Federal Communications Commission, the FCC, which bars obscene, indecent, and profane content. Profanity is defined as, quote, language so grossly offensive to members of the public who actually hear it as to amount to a nuisance, end quote, according to the FCC's guidelines. Wow.
Makes sense, I guess.
So if enough people complain about it, then it becomes profanity,
I think so.
and it can't. And that's how the FCC classifies it. I don't know. That's my rough interpretation of it.
Yeah, that's interesting though, because I wondered, but it was always funny, is because we were, I think, like I said, like 12 or something. Two 12-year-old boys were like,
Dude,
"Oh,
that's
it's a
how
bad
you.
word."
Yeah, that's how you sell to. It's clever.
Yeah, because we actually almost tried to get his grandpa to buy us some, just because we're like, dude, I want this one because it says this.
Do you remember any of the names?
Oh, I think one was like Ass Blaster or something. It was like, I mean,
Yeah,
they were
that
like
makes sense.
just dumb. I mean, they were
Yeah.
great, but of course we wanted them because they were stupid.
Yeah, this sounds like something a teenage boy would want to buy.
Oh yeah, we were all about it, and he's like, no, I'll get you this other one. It's like, okay.
Hey, while we're on the topic of food, do you want to hit the gong and pull one of these fortune cookies?
I'm down.
Right on.
I wonder what that was for.
Yeah, it's just a little jumping off point.
I like it.
I've been saying for months that I'm gonna get new cookies, but
Yeah.
I'm a lazy ass mofo. So let's see what this
It
says.
says, security without liberty is prison. Benjamin Franklin.
Security. So if you're safe but you can't go anywhere,
And are you safe or are you imprisoned?
yeah.
I like that.
I don't know. I think we need more safety.
Yeah.
We need more safety.
I think it's
So-
that like balancing act there. You got to find
Stay
the...
inside. Don't go anywhere. it's safer in your house.
I mean, that's the thing is I got to say, I can honestly say the most trouble I've gotten into has never been in my own home.
Except after 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah. And at that point, you just like go to bed.
Here, I want to get one too. Let's see. Here, I'll let you smack that again because I like to try and time it. You've got a nice touch to it, man.
I like it. I like that whole
Some
thing.
people smack the hell out of it. I had this gong when I was teaching chess all around to a bunch of different elementary school kids, and it's fun. There's a lot of mojo in this gong here.
Yes. Oh, I bet the kids just love that.
See?
I always wondered why our teachers never had like anything like that. And now I'm thinking about it, I'm like, oh yeah.
It's an incentivizer. I'm always trying to think of like more like how do you get kids on board with like shutting the fuck up.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah.
And it's like we're gonna meditate. Who wants to hit it, right? And then they go, I want to hit it. I want to hit it. And then all right, well then shut the fuck up.
Yeah, then you're like, all right,
Who's
well,
the best at it?
Yeah, who's the best at being quiet? And then
Yep.
yeah,
And
decides
it
I like
really
it.
works. So any teachers out there, like, there was a modification my coworker used. It was the Himalayan singing bowl. So that had more of a harder finesse to it because you had to go whoa, whoa, and not
Yeah.
everyone could do it, but you could also ding ring it. So, I mean,
It's a good idea.
yeah, little things like this reward kids, and you don't actually have to give them a physical thing. They get to do something. Right?
Yep.
If we are true to ourselves, we cannot be false to anyone.
I like that.
Who's out there being false to other people? Why would you want to pretend to be something you're not?
I personally, I mean, I guess I can see, like in the especially the Hollywood scene, I guess I can see the merit in it, but man, it just seems exhausting.
These are terrible.
I was like, the thing is though, sometimes the worst ones are the best ones.
They're a bit older than they should be, man. They're a bit stale.
A little bit.
Some of their faces like, oh man, you don't gotta finish it. Yeah,
Still not that bad.
they were good though. It's not it's not a negative thing on the company. They were really good when they were new.
Yep. I always love that. You're like, no, these are fine. These are fine. Just eat them in the right time. And you're good.
These quotes though, these quotes are timeless.
Oh yeah.
Be true to yourself. Was there ever a point in your life where you were just like not true to yourself,
Oh yeah. I would say like middle school, high school, definitely. Just trying to fit in with everyone else.
but you figured it out pretty quick into your early adulthood?
Yeah, especially once that was the really nice thing about going to culinary school is I feel like you get a lot of the people there that just don't give a fuck. about any, you know what I mean? Not like the rude kind of sense, but the ones who are straight up like, if someone's like, oh, I don't like you, and they're like, all right, cool, man. So anyway,
the type of person that ends up in culinary.
A lot of them are, they're very true, genuine people. You know,
I've noticed that a lot about cooks too.
Yep.
I worked in a kitchen once or twice, and now that I think about that too, like that you're right. They don't give a fuck.
Yeah. So some of the easiest people to get along with, because they're having a bad day. Some of the those are the best people I worked with, because you come in and you're like, man, I'm just not having a good day. Just don't talk to me for a bit.
And that's why they're cooking in the back instead of serving, because they don't like putting on the fake face of, hi.
Oh, gosh.
Let me suck your dick for a tip.
Yeah, really. We're like, oh, I'm so sorry. Even though I had nothing to do with your food, what can I do to help you? I can't do that.
I always wanted a restaurant where like the cooks got tips. Maybe not over the servers, but like they're the ones making the food.
Yeah, I've heard of actually a couple places. I don't know.
Why is that not more common?
Yeah, and see, that's what I always thought was interesting, because what I always thought really was the most defeating was because you would always have like the two hopes of the restaurant whenever you come in for a shift. You'd have the hopes it would be a Monday night from the cooks, because we got paid the same no matter what, whether we were making 80 pizzas or making 3 pizzas. I'm getting paid the same by the end of the day. But of course, all the servers wanted it to be the busiest Friday on record, because they'd be walking out here with like $300-400. We'd be walking out here with a lucky 400.
Yeah.
And so it was. I always thought that was kind of interesting, and I never really could figure out in like my head how to do a good way to do it. I just because if I make the food, I just want to give me the damn tip. But I mean, I know that some places have done a thing where they'll like do like a 60-40 split sometimes on tips. I've heard of that being. I'm like, that sounds pretty fair.
Yeah. Yep. It's just, I don't know. It's just an interesting dynamic in this country altogether, because I don't know. Have you ever been abroad to another country?
No, and that's the one. Like, I had a chance one time to go, but like it was one of those things. Like through the school, we needed at least 12 people to go, because like it's some weird shit way they were explaining it. But like I guess to help pay for the chaperones, they needed at least 12 people to go. We had 11 to go. Could not get the 12. And they're like, well, sorry, we're not going now. We were going to like Europe.
Damn.
I was like, what the?
Damn.
I was so mad.
Yeah, if you ever get to leave the country, I highly recommend it. It's eye-opening. I mean, back to the tip thing, when I studied abroad in China, one of the first things we did as foreign exchange students, we kind of like had our little group, some Spanish girls, there's a Russian guy, a Ukrainian guy. We all were like we're the foreigners, let's go out to eat. And we tried tipping. This was like in the first week or two. We tried in Chengdu, we ate at just a regular restaurant, sit down, and we tried tipping at the end. Like, we all thought that was what we were supposed to do, and they would not let us leave without giving us that tip money back. And it was like, we're like, okay, we will take it back. We did like this ring around the rosy, like, okay, we'll give it to this foreigner, and then like, okay, that gave it back to the Chinese person. They gave it back to a different. They're like, we don't want it.
You're like, all right.
Apparently, it's just like.
Isn't it just an American thing? Tipping?
Well, I don't know. It's just from place to place. I'm sure in Europe they'll take tips for sure.
Gotcha.
If you're at a bar getting like cognacs in Spain, it's like, yeah, you could tip them. But it's like I've seen in Southeast Asia, it's almost like they take it as like they didn't do their job good enough. But again, it depends on place to place,
right?
Business to business, case by case.
Yep.
Because I'm sure there's some places that would take it and like. Yeah,
I mean, I've always looked at the philosophy on tipping. I'm like, I like to view it as like it shouldn't have to be necessary. You know what I mean? You shouldn't someone's job shouldn't have to depend on that. The graciousness of other people, because let's be honest, some of those Sunday morning Karens that you get in are like, you're lucky if you get 5% off them and you like licked their shoes. So I'm like, I that's why I don't. I feel like the tip to me should always be like, oh, it's like extra. Now, that being said, I would never refuse a tip, because I mean, if someone wants to give me money, I mean. I'm gonna probably take it unless there's like some strings attached.
Well, like I mean, as a consumer, when I went into your soap shop, like it was a little relieving to not see the tip screen when you flip that little iPad thing that they always flip at the other places. That's like meh, awesome, you rock, fuck you.
Yeah, I hate that thing.
So I was like, thanks for not having that. I mean, but I liked your email list, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, actually, it's funny as you mentioned that. I had some people be like, you could probably try and make a little bit more if you did like a tip screen. And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, but I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, there's no way I can. I'm like, no, I'm not doing table side service here. I'm not like.
I think what might work better is incentives with your email address,
Yeah.
email list, like discount codes,
Yeah.
incentives to get it delivered, so you can just maybe work on the downtime more. Like like how you said you give a discount off for refilling your candles. Like that's an incentive to bring it back.
Yeah, I like that. I think I've had one person for like a delivery tip me like one time, and it was around Christmas, and I was like, oh, sweet, cool.
Oh, when you were delivering like your own product?
Yeah, it was a lady like, who lived in Tantawan, one of those like really nice. She was like, oh, you're like $50 for yourself, and I'm like, don't mind if I do.
That's awesome. Yeah. Yep. People want to pay for things.
Mm-hmm.
And there's this mentality. I'm trying to figure it out because I'm still not making it what I want to.
Yep.
But it's like with the inflation, there's more money than there has ever been, just floating around everywhere, and everyone it's just being exchanged. It's like, how do you throw up successful nets to just catch it? People are trying to throw money in every which way direction. It's just like, I think if you tell yourself you can't get any of it, you're making excuses.
Yep. Yeah, a lot of it. It's like it's one of those things where it's like there's so many. Happens like a lot in like some games too. I see where there's so many options to go at that you're like, I don't even know if I want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
And you just don't do anything. Like you got 47 options and you pick none of them.
Well, I think that's one of the elements that I've kind of honed in on too. Is like for businesses is like really focus in on what you're good at. Like kind of what Gary Vee says, triple down on your strength instead of trying to improve your weaknesses. And it's like, set that ego aside. Get the team members on the team that do have those strengths to open you up to like lean into yours, so you don't have to focus on those 47 things, because that's who wants to do that.
Oh gosh, yeah. Like that's why I'm glad like with the way we do the stuff. Like I'm like soaps and candle. That is like just I could do that in my sleep. But then there's like some of the facial products that my mom does, and I'm like I'm in bath fizzies. I don't make those near as well as she does. And that is like a nightmare to make for me. So I'm like, but I'm happy staying, in my lane over there, making the soaps and the candle all day long.
Right on. What is there any other like chemistry things you've thought about branching out into that's just not related to soaps or anything?
Not. I mean, beyond like just stupid fun backyard experiments. Not really.
No, not for like business. Like
not that I've seen like anything that I could like. 'Cause, I mean, I thought something would be cool. Would be like doing like a different kind of like a colored flame on a candle, but the thing is to do that, there's not really a good non-toxic way.
Because you got to burn metal.
Exactly.
That's right. Like aluminum burns blue and phosphorus burns green.
I think so.
Am I right about that? Can we? I would love to fact check that.
Yeah, because I remember I was like looking up this thing and it was like, oh, cool. How do you get these flames? But then I was like looking at burning metals.
But copper burns blue. Right?
That's it.
Copper burns blue, and that's the only one I know for sure.
Yeah, and I'm like, I thought that if there was some way to
Bluish
do that
green.
like non-toxic for candles, that'd be really cool. But I just don't know how to. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's that. Well, I don't know. I see those some of the lighters that have like the electric charge.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. That's beyond me.
It's one of my projects I'm like looking at, but I'm filing it under things that are like there's like a 50-50 shot of it actually working.
What if you had it specifically as a lantern outside candle?
That could work.
And you made it more like longer lasting, like
Yeah.
kind of like, and you specifically said not for indoor use.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, and then put that like all over it.
All these pagans and all these witches and goth emo chicks that would buy a green or a purple lantern. Oh, dude.
Yeah, and
there's a lot.
And specifically put on. Yeah, no, I think that could. I'll have to look at that because I really wanted to do that.
So yeah, the copper burns bluish green. The phosphorus burns yellowish.
Cool.
So I was wrong about that. So yeah, I just watched a documentary when I was a kid about fireworks, and that's how I know. It's like, oh, okay. So they put like bits of metal in the fireworks, and that's what creates the color differences. Wow. So yeah, that's something a human would do. Is just say, what does this happen if I light it on fire?
Yep. And that's so funny. Is I'm like I was always, especially as a kid, I was always that pyro, but but it was never like I wanted to like, oh, I just want to watch things burn. It was just like I wanted to always do it safely. So we always had like a fire bowl or something. But it was just like, man, let's throw in the spray paint can. Oh, stupid stuff. I mean,
I wish I was more like you, man, because I had some problems with some fire back in my past.
Yep.
Oh, nice.
I mean, I actually never fully burned off my eyebrows. I'm surprised. But I did have a buddy though who found out the hard way that like when you blow up a spray paint can, don't stand right next to it.
No.
But it was really funny for us when he turned around because it was like silver spray paint. Dude was looking like the Tin Man. I mean, I kid you not, just head to toe, like just silver spray paint all over him. And we lost it. We were just laughing.
Can you die? Can you die if that blows up the wrong way?
I'm pretty sure. Like it was one of those moments because we were like hiding. You know, we were behind like a rock. We were straight up like trying to blast shield this thing. You know, as much as smart as the 11-year-olds we were. And he's like, "Oh, you guys are a bunch of pussies," you know, doing the whole like redneck, like, "Oh, I'm tougher than you guys. See, look, it's not even gonna do anything." And as he says that, it goes off. And I think, I don't think he had eyebrows for a little bit after that, but
he was completely covered in like this like silver paint. That's
it gets a little char on his clothes. Like he didn't get hurt that bad. I think it was more like that thing where it like shocked the heck out of him than anything. But yeah, we were like, he was all calling us pussies, and he'd stand right next to it. And I'm like, all right, man. Mm-hmm.
The hidden dangers of aerosol cans. Spray paint can explosion sends man to the hospital while working on road in Milan Park.
I'm not surprised. I mean, that pressure.
Portland fire and rescue response to projectile paint can. You were literally playing with fire. You guys took it up a notch.
Oh, no,
we
were stupid.
And I'm telling you, we did the same things. We did it with an axe spray a couple of times. We'd go in the Arroyo and we'd but we kept some distance. Boom! And it would blow up. Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah, the one we decided, so after that time that we did that spray paint one, we decided to get, quote, safer about it. And I mean, you know, once again, the mind of like 11 to 13-year-old boys is a wonderful thing.
Be careful what you admit on the mic.
Yeah, nice thing, all we did, we dug a 6-foot deep hole. Just out in our, you know, his dad's backyard, just dug a big old massive hole, probably to the point that, you know, of course we were just digging this hole down.
I imagine his dad was on like one of them lifeguard chairs just supervising.
Oh yeah, margarita in hand, everything. Oh, it was great, man. He didn't even and then whenever he had to go to work or something, that's when we'd like start like throwing stuff in the hole to light it on fire, like Molotov cocktails, I mean spray paint cans, gasoline, you name it. We were throwing everything in that hole and burning it.
I think it's phenomenal you channeled all of that interest into something that helps people.
Yep.
You know, you can use a knife to kill somebody or cut your vegetables.
Exactly.
And you've chosen to use your interest in the dynamics of chemistry to help clean people and take care of them instead of blowing people up.
Yep.
Because you could be making weapons right now for the military or something, you know?
It's actually scary, the things that you're able to just order online
it
without
is.
like any, I mean, seriously, like when I was first doing soap, I thought I was going to have to like go through some kind of check to get, you know, sodium hydroxide. And it was like, oh no, man.
No, man, come get it.
How much you want? 8 pounds? Yeah, go about it.
One thing I was looking into was, I found it on this place. I'm not advertising for them. I'm just going to say it because it's where I found it. It's karatemart.com.
Yeah.
And they've got these, and I'm going to get some. I'm going to get a fucking stun baton. I might get one of the stun guns too, but they've got so much shit here. And they'll say, make sure to check with your local law.
Yes.
But this is America. You just get ninja stars and fucking, you know, poles and throwing axes. Yes. What is that? Dark Hand Combat Scythe?
Oh, what?
Yeah, these are...
that's actually a really cool site.
These are like... This is shit for fucking people up.
Oh, yeah. I'm like, this is 100%. Like...
But I went into the... we can go into the electric ones. What are the stun gear?
Yeah.
I don't know which one it is, which tab it's under. Weapon. That's a lot of tabs.
I was going to
say, throwing weapons, training weapons, staves.
Exotic. Electric?
Self-defense weapons.
Might be self-defense.
It's probably self-defense weapons, and then stun. There's all kinds of stun stuff. So stun guns, yeah. Mm-hmm. There's a stun baton. And I watched this review video of this guy and his female assistant like using it on him, and he made a pretty convincing case. So there's all kinds of stuff like.
Have you ever been hit by a stun gun?
Almost.
I was gonna say
my cousin and I were hopping into the Mormon church back when I was a teenager, and like there was the rent-a-cop. He was like, "Get on the ground," and I got on the ground. And my cousin was like, "What the fuck are you doing? Get up and run!" And I was like, "Okay, yeah." And he's like, "Don't you run! I'll shoot you with this stun gun."
Oh, no.
And we were like, "Nah, get the fuck out of here!" We hopped the fence. We got out of there, and that was the closest I've ever been to actually being tased. Is a threat, but we were. It was the middle of the night. We were being rascals.
Oh yeah,
we were just snooping around. We weren't breaking anything. We weren't breaking into the church. We just like hopped the fence like into the courtyard to see like what's up with this place.
Yeah, like why is it all fenced off?
Why
like,
is
what
it so nice in here?
Yeah, like what's so special about this?
Yeah. So and yeah, no.
I can say so. I see. I've never and obviously the looking at there's a bunch of different like levels of stun guns. So I've gotten hit with like the low. Like my buddy, like we basically asked a security guard if he could take. So we tased each other. Yeah. And it was like one of the low voltage one, but I mean, like, it's still like,
man.
It's funny too, because it's, of course we were doing, the whole like macho man thing, like, okay, well, how long who's going to get tased the longest before they, I mean, you sit there and like the first like half second, it feels like a like bee sting or like someone just like jabbing you with a needle. But then like after that, it's just like your whole arm. You're like, oh, okay, I'm down.
Does it like freeze up your body?
That one didn't like do a full freeze up, but it was more kind of like if it was higher voltage, 100%.
I mean, I've done the shock pens, right?
Yeah,
fucking poke
it
you with
felt like that times like 10. Because it was a much lower voltage one than like the one my mom has. The one my mom has, I'm not going with that one. That thing sounds like when when it does the arc, it's like
that's when you know it's good. Is that snappy, clicky sound,
crack almost like
crackle.
lightning, and I'm like, no, that one I don't fuck with because I'm like that's gonna hurt. The one that we hit each other with was the one you don't end up peeing yourself with. It's just
speaking of peeing on yourself, can we let's go to those reaction videos. Yes. The very top one where it says Larry. Oh man, did I not get the link?
Oh, no.
I never pasted the link. Oh man, that's my bad. Let's see if it's still on my phone. It might still be like the last thing I copied. Let's see what's good with it.
I was gonna say sometimes you can just like Control V. Did I?
I mean, it was a TikTok, and the thing about TikToks is once it's gone, it's gone.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you maybe could find it if you look it up. They've kind of like improved their SEO optimization a little bit. They're trying to like improve like the searching on it, but I'm just gonna see if I can copy paste it if it's already in my phone, because I know I looked it up recently. Let's see here. But the video is this guy. No, I've got it right here. Yo, I've got the. Yeah, cool. We got the link in my phone, but I just don't know why it's.
Is that it up there now?
Is that it? Did it pop up?
I think so. Something did.
Yeah, click it up. I guess it's an Instagram.
Cool.
Hey, let's see. Maybe Cameron. Let's get the volume. Because the tattoo artist handles it.
Are you alright, dude? Yeah. Are you okay? I don't feel comfortable tattooing you, man.
What?
Are you alright, dude?
So it's basically for the listeners, it's a regular looking 50-year-old dude sitting in a tattoo parlor. He's getting tattooed. He's got sunglasses on. That's the one peculiar thing. But the most peculiar thing is he is just soaking himself with piss. And I don't know what, like...
I think I know exactly what's going on there.
Do you?
I've worked with like 3 people like that. That dude is sauced.
You think that dude is just fucked up? I mean, I hope it's not a medical problem, but he definitely looks sauced. That would make sense.
He looks like a guy. I worked with a cook one time who literally in this one shift managed to vomit in the prep sink, grill his dang hand, and then proceed to just relieve him. And in the whole time, sunglasses on and just talking like it's normal in the back of the house.
Jeez. But see, this tattoo artist, like, he handles it really professionally.
He's good.
He's just like, I don't feel comfortable tattooing you anymore, Larry. And Larry's just like, why not?
It's the why not for me.
I don't even know if he said why not. Let's see what he says.
I feel comfortable tattooing you, man.
I don't even know what he says.
I don't even think he knows what he said there.
Yeah, he's gone, dude.
Man, I'm like,
don't get tattoos, drunk people. You know this might happen.
Yeah, because like you think the worst that can happen is maybe I get a butterfly tramp stamp.
But
no, worst that happens is you end up on.
You end up just completely making a mess of yourself, and your friend's filming it too. Your friend's not, hey bro, can I get you a towel? Let's get you up out of here. They're just like yeah, this is gonna happen.
Yeah. I wonder if it's one of those moments too where it's like they just had enough of his shit that they're like, you know what, Frank, we're taking you out.
You know what, Larry?
Yeah, you know what, Larry? Fine. You want to go get pissed drunk again? All right, this one's on you.
That's probably what happened. He's like, I'm gonna get a tattoo. You cannot stop me.
You're like, all right, cool. Someone, you just look at the buddy like, should we help him? Nope. Get the camera.
Man. Shout out to that tattoo artist who definitely tried.
Yep. And then, you know, man, my man's sitting there afterwards like, someone bring me a roll of paper towels.
Yeah. Or you know what would clean that up really well? One of our very own rags from Riches and Rags.
Mm-hmm.
If you go to our website, they are ultra absorbent. Actually, I've genuinely been using them after the showers, and they're fucking nice. This one here,
Oh, yeah.
my girlfriend likes this classic towel. It's got this kind of more of an economy hotel kind of feel, but like one side is like really kind of like pillowy soft.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, I just wanted to mention that while there was a spill.
I like it. But I was gonna say, I kind of like that hotel kind of quality of that one though, because it's just like I remember one time I was at Disney World, I got like the Hollywood Hotel one, and it was like my favorite towel. I have no idea what the fuck happened to it now, but I love that damn thing.
Yeah, I don't know. She likes it more than I do. I mean, like I like it too, quite a bit. But,
Yeah.
you know, it's like it's just different.
Yep.
I don't know if you saw, but it's got a sublimation, so it's like not an embroidery, but it's like a.
That's what that is. I wondered. Looked cool as hell.
But they take a solid and it goes straight to a gaseous state, and that's what the process of sublimation is.
That's it.
So when I opened that towel for the first time and I expected an embroidery, I was like, "The fuck is this?"
You're like, wait a minute.
I was like, "Did they mess up or me?" And then I went and I read the fine print.
You're like,
I messed up.
You're like, gotcha.
We
Missed
gotta
that part.
we gotta make these mistakes. You know?
Yep. Oh, the amount of time I've like ordered something and you just didn't read the little you're like, ooh, okay, cool.
You ever made some bad orders like that for your business?
Definitely done some ones where like I got these like really good jars on clearance. I didn't realize they were on clearance because they didn't have any more lids for them.
Oh, so you couldn't use them?
Nope. And it was one of those moments I was like, dude, these are like 15 cents a jar. Hell yeah. And then I'm like,
Oh,
cool.
you got a lot of them?
And I think I got like 100, 150.
Okay.
And I was like, all right. So I ended up just using them for like mixing stuff in the back, you know, and then like, all right, cool. That one's done. Throwing it away now.
Damn. Well, I mean, at least you made use of them instead of just.
Yep. But after that, I learned.
Because
I'm
you
like,
could just screw the next guy and just sell the jars, upcharge them.
Right.
Some, what's the arbitrage?
Yes. Oh, man.
Let's see what other reaction videos we got there before we take a break. Let's see. There's Bird Beats, clip blowing dust on a Sunday. Let's see what that is. I don't know. Just open. I just found some stuff.
Every day. Fuck you, asshole.
Fuck you too, you motherfucker.
You're blowing dust everywhere
you.
for no reason.
Fuck you.
I don't care what you think
Yeah,
of me.
I don't give a fuck what you think of me either. Go in your house and mind your own fucking business.
So it's two
Dust all over
it's
the
two
neighborhood.
guys.
Sunday morning.
It's
Sunday.
it's two neighbors just arguing about blowing dust. I don't know why people fight about this stupid shit for no reason, but these dudes are heated.
And then
about-
they make the point to always be like, I don't care what you think of me. Well, I don't care what you think of me either. Like, y'all are spending an awful lot of time out there.
Yeah, really what it is they have nothing to do. They have if you're out there and you see yourself in some sort of stupid neighbor war or bitch argument with a stranger about a cart, and you're what you're doing is you have nothing to do with
Yeah.
your time. You are not a busy person. He might be blowing dust just to piss off his neighbor. Honestly, I think he might be doing that. Let's see. There might be a little more audio left of that, but
Oh, man. I can honestly say, yeah, it's like you have that one thing.
it's just a.
Shit, motherfucker.
He's just
He is heated.
blowing dust. But the thing is,
all over the neighborhood on a
fuck up.
Sunday morning.
Fuck you, asshole.
Fuck you.
Piece of shit, motherfucker.
I wonder if he did it on a Monday, if it would have made a difference.
That's what I was going to say. I'm like, so that's when you just come out tomorrow and you're like, hey, it's not Sunday.
You can't be working today. It's Sabbath. It's the Lord's Day.
And it makes me wonder, like, if it's just like, because I don't think that's like early in the morning. Because I'm like, now, if
No, dude,
someone's-
that's the middle of, like I said,
Yeah.
you could tell by the sunlight. It's the middle of the day.
Yeah.
Even the neighbor's like having his like lunch or coffee filming from a distance, like these idiots. The sunlight, yeah.
I wonder like how often something like this goes down that they're just like sitting there like, okay, I got my good filming spot just behind the tree a little bit. They won't see me. All right, cool. Let's do this.
Man, I'm glad I don't have any crazy neighbors like this. The craziest thing that happened was, I guess the most recent thing last night, some neighbor kids knocked on my door. It's like me and my girlfriend are just like watching
Yeah.
TV. It's dark. It's like 8 o'clock on the dot, and one's 10 and the other's like 6. And they're like, "Have you seen our cat? We lost our cat." And I was like, "How many days ago did you lose your cat?" And they're like, 3. And I was like, "Does he come home often?" And
Yeah.
they're like, "Yeah, he usually comes home. He's a regular outside cat." "Yeah, he's a regular outside cat." And I was like, "Sorry guys, it might have got run over by a car." And the little one gives me like a big old henyo. But the older one was like, oh, like he kind of already accepted it. I was like, but hey, keep your heads up. I'll let you know if I see him because I'm out walking my dog all the time.
Yeah, you're like, what's up?
And I got back in my house, and my girlfriend was like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" I didn't know I did anything wrong. I'm just like, "All right, kids, have a good night." You know, like she's like, "You what? You told them that their cat died and got hit by a car. You don't know that." I'm like, "Well, yeah, but I mean, like, it might have."
You're like, I mean, gotta prepare him for reality at some point.
That was my argument. Was like, you know, I gave him, I told him something no one probably would.
Yeah.
And then she was like, "You don't know if their parents told them the same exact thing." I could have been the one to give them hope.
Could have been, but I mean, I'm like, I don't know. I guess as a kid, it's like that moment I think back to, like, for me as a kid, I'm like, I don't know. I'd rather someone just tell me straight up instead of making me like for like weeks being like, oh, maybe.
Yeah. Man, when I had my childhood cat, we went to Texas and we kind of released him into the woods. He was like competent enough, and he lasted over a year or two, but after a few years, my aunt stopped seeing him. It was like other male cats. But, you know, releasing that cat into the wild and knowing that he was like a good cat for a year in the wild,
Yeah.
it's a lot better than just like, you know, knowing that a car hit it.
Yep. Yeah. I just ran out in front of like a freaking coyote or something.
Yeah. You have any pets?
Yeah. I got my 3 cats. Yep.
Shit. That's funny.
One of those times, like, and it's funny is I think I only actually meant to get one of them. The other 2 like ended up like showing up, and I'm like, okay, I guess I'll feed you. And then like, anyone seen this cat? And everyone's like, no, I haven't seen this cat. So now I ended up with
3 cats. Right
Yep.
on.
One of them is a very, very large one.
Like fat, or is just like a
Oh,
monster,
like
like a bobcat?
Like almost like a bobcat thing, and I'm like I heard this thing that like I guess like some house cats have like a 16th bobcat or something in him, and I'm like, I'd believe it with that boy. He's big. He's like 30 pounds.
Do you think he's an exotic cat?
He looks
pattern
just like
on
he
his
looks like an
fur?
orange American short-haired cat, just big.
Oh.
Like he just looks like you took one of those cats and just like supersized
Is that the one that just showed up?
Yep.
That's Garfield, dude.
I know. That's exactly what I was thinking. He just like shows up one day, and I'm just like, who the fuck
John
are
kicked
you?
him out, man.
Yeah, and I can see it too because he's the noisiest cat I've ever had. Just anytime, like you look at him, he just like the loudest meow too, just always nonstop. And I'm like,
What do you do when your cat runs away?
I
You got
never.
any advice for anyone out here who's got a missing cat?
So my one cat, he like one of the smaller ones, he's like run off for a bit, but then like 2 hours later, he's back meowing at the door.
So
I've never had like a cat like run off, and not, come pretty much like right back within like an hour or two. Usually though, like, actually, no, wait, one time my big cat did go off for a bit, and all I really did was like put food and water out for him, like right by the door. Took him like 2 or 3 days. Like on the second day, he tried to come back, but like he was freaked out at something out there. So when I like opened the door, he like effed off. But then the third day, he like jumped the fence and was in the backyard. So I just opened the sliding glass door and he came in. But I think he like knew where his home was. So
yeah, I think that's the thing about cats is if they want to come back, they will, and if they don't, they're gone.
yeah, like
So-
that's what and anytime like the other one when he gets out or anything like that, and I don't see him around, I'm like, oh.
This is my belief. Like if your cat is lost, it left your ass. It doesn't want to be around you. If your dog ran off, it's probably genuinely lost.
Yeah.
It probably has no idea where the hell it is. And if it doesn't, it's not a dog worth keeping anyways. Because I mean, any dog that you've walked around your own neighborhood and
Yeah,
you've
you're like,
had the responsibility
"Gotta know the
for.
smells."
Yeah, it would know where home is. I know mine would know where home is.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Because yeah, my cat's like that's why I'm never really worried. I mean, I always watch him because there is a coyote around that area. But I'm like,
Dude, I should have told the kids it was a coyote. That's such a better answer than a car. Dude.
I mean, in my area, that's actually the more likely truth because there is this and it's so funny is this thing just like slips in between the bars of the gate and just is like, hey guys, what's going on? Just walking around your neighborhood. And like one time I was walking, I look up and the damn thing's like coming the other way, and I'm just like kind of like look at the coyote like, sup? And I just kind of crossed the street and just kept walking home. I'm like, yeah, that's a little closer to a coyote than I wanted to be.
Yeah, it was it like following you said?
Oh no, like I was walking into like it was like kind of walking down into my neighborhood, and the thing's like up on where the pine trees are, like those walls that like are really high up. And I was like look up because I saw something moving. I thought it was a cat, and it's just like this coyote, and just like looks at me, and I'm like,
when there's one, there's probably more.
yeah. And I just kind of like just started quickly, just picked up my pace a little bit, and I was only like it was like 100 feet from my house, but I was just like, yeah, I didn't see that coyote until he was like literally like
We're out here in the wild, wild west. So when we're talking about like ninja stars and stun batons, I mean, like, what are you gonna do if some coyotes run up on you? I mean, it's unlikely, but they might.
In that case, it's kind of that meme where, guess I'll die.
I guess I'll die. I don't know that meme.
I just sitting there looking at it and I'm like, well, I mean, at least it looked well fed. So I'm like, I hope it's not hungry enough for me. I'm just gonna keep walking.
Hey, Cameron, can we pull up some more of them reaction video links? Let's see what's going on there. Yeah, let's do the that one. Yep.
Suck his balls. Be gentle, go slow, and ask what feels good. There's no shame in the ball sucking game.
I don't know, man. What do you agree or disagree?
I mean, yeah, it's a very like lively public service announcement. I think those are sometimes the best because it's just you just like scrolling through and you're like, all right, that is an attention grabber.
I think she genuinely means it. I don't think she's making it for views.
No.
I mean, it's making it for views, but I think she's about it.
I was like, that sounds like a PSA. I'm like, that sounds to me.
Let's see the next reaction video. I agree with it. I think, what she said.
Man, I always love some of the things
The,
that people get on TikTok and all like Facebook, anything.
Chubby foot is a funny one. Say that one again.
I say when people just get on like the things they'll post on Facebook.
Hello
Oh my
there.
god.
Hello, how are you? How are you doing today? I'm fine. How about yourself? Oh man, I'm doing lovely. Here's the foot again.
So what it is, it's just a guy filming his foot, and it's something's up with it, and
Yeah.
it's a real foot, dude. Watch, go to his account because I did a little. It's called Chub Money 215, and his whole thing is about his foot, and it's like, yeah.
What's
It's-
up? What's up? What's up? It's me again.
But this goes
I'm
back
back.
to our fortune
I know
cookie.
y'all-
This goes to our fortune
Yep.
cookie. If we are not true to ourselves, we cannot be false to anyone. This guy's leaning
Listen,
into himself.
I like it.
This is like
got
real body
somebody
positivity because
I
I don't think
wanna
he's
bring
just obese. Watch, check out some of his other
Yeah.
photos because his other leg does not look like this.
No, and then his face even. I'm like, there's no way. Like that's.
Yeah, check this out. Let's
is
just
that,
keep
though?
scrolling down. There'll be one. I don't know. There's. It's definitely just like one of his legs.
Yeah.
Anyways, like he's not like the foot is absolutely massive. It's swollen. You're killing it on TikTok, man.
Oh hell yeah.
And I think a lot of people can take that positivity in a good way. I just thought it was funny. Like I came across it. Hello, This is
like, whoa.
and that's his whole thing. Yeah, what is it? Lymphedema refers to tissue swelling caused by an accumulation of protein-rich fluid that's usually drained through the body's lymphatic system. It is most commonly affects the arms or legs, but can also occur in the chest wall, abdomen, neck, or genitals. Ooh, that would be terrifying. In the neck or the genitals. I don't know why the genitals scares me more than the neck.
I know. I'm like, oh gosh.
I mean, like, yeah. So that's what these pictures on the internet. It shows like a regular leg, before a leg, and after, and it's just like one is normal and the other is just like really swollen, and that's what his videos look like. But yeah, there's some crazy stuff out there, man. But you got to stay positive. I bet that guy, Chub Money 215, would never be in a dust blowing argument with his neighbor.
Oh hell no.
I bet the moment his neighbor started blowing dust, he'd just get over it.
But-
Or if he started blowing dust in his neighbor, I really think Chub Money would handle that pretty well.
Oh yeah.
My car. No, I'm gonna stand right here. I'm standing right by my car. You don't tell me what to do. Don't be a dick. I'm a constitutional law scholar. I sue lots of cops. Don't play games. Mind your own fucking business. This is why people don't like cops. Then shut your mouth and do your job. You. This is my car. I'm standing next to my car. Don't tell me what to do. And if you want to arrest
So yeah, it's a guy filming. The video is coming from his phone, and he's yelling at cops, telling the cops that the cop car is his car. Right? That's what I'm understanding. Are you?
I'm trying to like. Is he?
Because I watch I watch a lot of these videos about these civil auditors who think they understand the law. One guy's really good. He really goes in like photography, like video, but he gets away with it because he knows the law. But this just seems like
he's
an
trying
asshole.
to say that that's his car because he's a taxpayer.
I think this is a guy who's failing at trying to think he knows the law.
Yeah.
So he's being an asshole to these cops. But let's see where it goes.
Arrest me, do it, and I'll sue your ass. You're telling me to get out of the road. Don't tell me what to do. Mind your own business. I'm a full-grown man. Mind your own business. This is why people don't like cops. You don't have dominion over me. You don't tell me to stand out of the street when your car's blocking the road. That's what I'm talking about. Listen, your emergency lights are on right there. In other words,
he's just leaning against his car with his elbow on his head. He's just like, okay, okay. He doesn't give a fuck. He's just gonna let this guy blow out his steam.
Yep. A level of unbothered there is great. Like,
this is what you were saying. The Karens they deal with. This is the other perspective, like the live PD, but like from the person's phone.
Yeah. And you can see him. He's sitting there. He's just like, yeah, okay, just keep going.
I think there's a happy ending to this.
I'm safe from traffic. You're just being a dick. You're trying to control me. You're trying to have dominion over me. Let me tell you what you can do. You can go.
That's
my
it.
car.
So those poor police, man.
No, you just gotta sit there and just listen. Okay, yeah, all right, sounds good. Sir.
Yep. The cop was just not having any of it.
Yeah, he's like, and then what happened? What else you got?
you know. Having composure in high stress situations is such a valuable asset as a person, especially as a man. But I mean, like, damn, like having someone just like, I don't know if I can just like sit there and let someone bitch at me. I mean, maybe.
I think it really is. So for me, I think it would really depend on how tired I was that day.
Yeah.
If I have a certain level of tiredness, I'm just like, cool, man, go off.
So you're saying if you were more tired, you'd like more let it happen?
Oh yeah, I'd
probably be the opposite. The more tired, I wouldn't put up with the bullshit. I'd be like, I'll fucking arrest you.
Yeah, mainly just because it's like the way I grew up with a lot of people, they would always just be like, oh yeah, you can't do this, especially like going to Hope and everything. They'd be like, oh, you can't do this. They'd just be as they were yelling at me, I'd just be sitting there and I'm just be not even there. If they asked me what the hell they just said, I have no clue. So when I get tired enough, I'd feel like they'd be start yelling and just start going off, and I'm just like, cool, man. Aces.
What's the most high stress situation you've been in? Like the most like real life situation you've been in? Anything crazy go down?
Not really. I mean, I usually, I try anytime like anything crazy starts happening on the bus, I usually get off. Yeah, I usually try to avoid pretty much any high stress. Like
you're a wise individual.
Yeah,
you're a wise individual.
My thing is, it's not worth it, and I'm like, I like my day. My perfect day is like I went to work, maybe talked to some cool people, maybe got some soaps made. Then I went home, maybe played some video games with the boys, and then went to bed. That's a perfect day.
You should do a little traveling, man. It's a lot safer in other places, in other countries. It's like enjoyable. People are cooking food on the street and like street vendors. You can buy a smoothie here, a coconut there. Fucking great, man.
Oh yeah.
Let's watch one more. Man Walks Goose.
Oh no.
And then we'll take a break.
Geese can be interesting.
I think we're finally in the upside down, dude. We're finally in a new timeline. What the fuck? And then you see the goose stops flying after it crosses the street. So it's an old guy with the satchel. It's an old guy with the satchel, and he's got a goose in a harness. And the goose is slowly flapping across the crosswalk and lands gracefully. Continues.
I mean,
I've never
that's
seen
actually
it.
really cool.
It's amazing. I mean, like I look for cool animal videos all the time.
Yeah,
there's that bird one.
I was gonna say usually my interaction with geese is run.
Right. This guy seemed to have it down. Birds are cool. I think animals have sentience. Yeah, that's just a little example. I mean, like, music is one of those things, like rhythm and music is like one of those higher elevated forms of thought that I think, and if an animal can groove with it, like, there's something there.
Oh, yeah. That's cool, though.
Right on. Let's go ahead and take a break. What's up, everybody? Happy October. You may be wondering why I look so damn comfy. And the reason is, all of our products just came in. I'm super excited to share them with you because I've been using them myself just to test them out and make sure they're actually good enough for all you guys out there. And I gotta say, I am impressed. What I got going on right now is a satin robe. It's one of my favorites if you're looking to lounge around. But of course, we've got rags. Our podcast is called Riches and Rags, so we got some actual Turkish rags. We got the small ones. You can get them in all kinds of art designs. We've got our original Riches and Rags logo. We've also got this one as a Bitcoin. It's pretty shiny. It's pretty cool. Just a regular size rag. Now, if you're a big ass dude, we have big ass Turkish towels for your big ass body. Right? You can get these in black or white. They are quite large. And if you notice back here, if you're going to get cold, get one of these Sherpa blankets. I made this one with a little heart just because I wanted to give it to someone that I loved very much. And I think it would make an excellent gift for you to give to someone that you love very much too. Man, this thing is actually too hot. I got to take it off. It's a very nice blanket. So you can get any of these things on our website at delaostudios.com. Again, it is one of the best ways to support us right now other than straight donation. And in lieu of our special guest today, why not accompany some bath towels with some bath bombs and body products from a local Albuquerque company by the name of Lavon Blue. Handcrafted. I've seen his shop. I've seen the space back where he makes it. It's pretty cool. These are all made by hand. This is a candle. Jamaican me crazy. I've been using it to scent the studio all morning, and it smells great. I'm actually having him bring more today. So he also makes soaps. You can buy all of his fantastic products online too. So without further ado, let's get back to the show. Are we back? We're back. Right on. I think that what ad ended off with me actually like talking about your candles and stuff.
Oh,
so
cool.
we can just follow it up with some of your products because you got some pretty neat stuff there, man.
Oh yeah.
This is a little more
there's
like
the candle.
is that what that one's for me, right?
Yeah, that one's yours actually.
Oh, Jamaican
So
me
make sure you get that one.
crazy.
Yeah, and then this is the pie
So
soap.
good, dude.
So
So
no,
yeah,
that-
yeah. Just kind of hold it up. Yeah, just right where maybe you're. Yeah. So it's for the listeners, it is kind of a chocolate mousse consistency, color looking thing. It definitely looks like it's got like a graham cracker bottom.
Yep.
It's got a little whipped cream dollop on top, and it looks like a damn real piece of pie. Like you could fool somebody. Honestly, it looks like one of those things you put on a real estate display table when you're selling a house.
Yeah.
It's super professional looking. So that's pretty cool. Are those popular? Do those sell a lot?
Oh yeah, I have sold probably almost 14 pieces probably so
Maybe
far.
Tip that mic just a little bit.
Yeah, I think I've done
You
like
can move it. It's okay. Yeah.
yeah, so I think I've sold like 14 pieces so far.
Okay.
So yeah, it's good. It's about 2 pies equivalent, and we get like 7 pieces per pie. So
How much would you sell like the whole pie for?
I don't actually know on that one yet because I haven't had someone like go for the whole pie yet. But I think we sell like each one of the slices for about like 14 or something. They end up being about twice the amount of like actual soap of our regular bar ones.
Okay. How long does something like that last?
Oh gosh, that one will easily last you like probably well over a month. Like if you're actually going to use it, and the scent itself will last for over a year. So you can just keep it.
Like the soap will hold for a year, like in the cabinet without.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe even longer, but that's usually a good. Like usually a year is about when it starts like, really losing its scent. So yeah, you can just keep out like all year, and then whenever it starts losing its scent, you can start using it, and it'll still smell great while you use it. But
Right on. What else is there in your hand?
and then these other little
holiday.
character soaps for kind of Halloween and fall.
Dope.
But yeah, those ones are little fun ones we do. A lot of the kids like them. I mean, I like them too, but
It's a skull. It looks like a Dia de los Muertos sugar skull.
Yeah.
Did I get it right?
Yep.
Is that what you're going for?
That
It's-
one, and then I need to actually make more of it because we do have some like of those like candles actually that are like the big skulls. But I sold all of them because they're so popular. But we're doing like the Day of the Dead kind of skull candles there.
That's clever.
Yeah, my mom's having fun painting those. I just have to make them. So
And the other one, what is this? What is the shape of that one?
this is an acorn.
You want to hold that up?
Yeah, just a fun little. I think that's about the only. Oh, and I have pumpkin ones too.
What's the deal with the paint? I mean, like, it looks shiny. Has it like? How do you get it to like?
So
be
that is
non-toxic?
the mica that we use in the same for coloring of our soaps, and so those don't. It's not like red 40 or any of that
Okay,
weird stuff.
that's
It's
awesome. Yeah,
mineral
that's,
based.
That's good. That's
Yep.
really good.
So yeah, it's it doesn't stain. Well, okay, like the only part of mica that stains is if you like take the raw color mineral and put that on your clothes. Yeah, that's a little hard to get out, but that itself does not stain.
Okay.
It's kind of like with any other like any kind of coloring you would use. Like if you pour it right out of the bottle on you,
You're gonna get some
you're gonna get stained. But
right.
when
Like,
you use
like,
it,
I mean, even use like just any old bath bomb. It'll just be just a little bit for a
yeah.
minute.
And
it'll be
nice thing
gone
is
the
these
next- the
ones.
morning.
Yep, these ones will just not even leave that. Cause that's what's funny. I have a lot of people being like, "Oh, you should make ones that turn the water like bright blue." And I'm like, you don't want that.
There was one time I used, I think, a food coloring in water to spray my white dog to make him blue.
Yes.
My mom was like, "You can't let this dog in the house." She was smart because that did rub off everywhere he was touching.
Oh yeah.
I thought it was just gonna be like, oh,
Like
it will stay. It'll
it'll
look
fade
nice.
out
It'll just be
eventually.
a blue dog.
Yeah.
With the shit we think when we're kids.
Oh, man, really? You'll sit there and you'll be like, "Yeah, this is a great idea," and then you're just like, "Oh,
Yeah, I know. Right on. Do you have any more shapes of the soaps that you brought?
Those are the only. I have to make some more shapes of the soaps that I because I got some cool pumpkin ones, but they're selling so fast. I'm pretty much out of them right now. So
That's good. That's really good, man. That's anything any business owner wants is something to sell out, right?
yeah, I'll take it, and it's nice because this year sales are starting earlier, and people are actually getting into more like the Halloween fall stuff.
It does feel more of a genuine holiday season, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think COVID and then last year coming out of it was still going on then, but it just those two didn't feel like Christmas, didn't feel like Thanksgiving. It just felt cold.
I agree. And then this extra thing is pretty cool. This caught my eye because it looks like the tuner keys on a guitar.
Yep.
Are you able to hold that up a little for the
Yeah.
camera? See, I almost touched it and brought it from the other room, but then like this thing twisted. And I was like, I know. I'm not
that's
gonna
just
break it.
I just need to like tighten that screw. Thankfully, that's not any. But yeah,
Okay.
it's like a nice little opens up
Yeah,
just
so
like
we'll hold
that.
it off the table. So yeah, this is neat. It looks like it's got like what 16 keys on it, 12.
Oh, I've never counted.
It looks like a Renaissance torture device.
A Renaissance torture
Yeah,
device.
12. I was gonna say it definitely could function as one at that.
And it's for cutting your soaps up.
Yeah, and so like I think I told you before, the way I did it initially.
We can set it over on this side so it's not quite so in the frame. Dope. Oh my gosh, yeah. I think this will probably be the last episode where I use these.
These little.
Well, see what it is this is a passive ribbon mic, and it needs a little bit of extra voltage to like pick up properly.
Oh.
And so these are called dynamites, and it's just the way that this mic works with this thing on this stand. I don't know. It's just like they're not connected fully, but there's other options for these, and I think I'm gonna look into them.
Oh,
this
cool.
little popping sound is kind of distracting, isn't it?
Sometimes, yeah,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh crap. It always
That's-
makes you think like, did I knock it?
Yeah, no. It's just gonna make that sound. I think until I sort this out. But no shitting on dynamite. It's a good product. It just doesn't. It fits in a little weird with this socket here on this hole. But anyways,
Yeah, no, I used to do the soaps with that single bar cut. It was like literally like a pastry knife and like this like little like just weird wooden frame thing that you could have like two. There were like two holes on it, so you could make a thinner bar and like a thicker one. And that thing just, I mean, it worked great, but it sucked. Because every like loaf of soap does about 9 bars, so I'm gonna cut that like 9 times, and then the next one, and
so how quick is this compared to that?
put that thing in, make sure the sides lined up, drop it down. All right, cool, all 9 are cut. Bring me the next one. Like it takes all of 10-15 seconds to cut one now.
That's efficiency, dude.
Yeah, it's
a
so
lot better than hand cutting.
So nice. And also, it since it's the wire, it actually cuts easier through it than the pastry knife did.
Do you have to heat up the wire?
No, thankfully.
That's cool.
The thing you do have to be careful of those, you want to make sure that, like, if you have a soap that's been sitting for a really long time, you want to avoid letting your soaps just sit for a long time without actually cutting them, because then they can they go through like various degrees of hardness, but if you like let a loaf of soap sit for a whole year, it's gonna be very hard to cut. Like it'll probably take you a good 10 minutes to, not to, so you don't break this thing, but you have to just slowly apply pressure and just cut it. But yeah, I've learned that one the hard way too. I actually had one soap that was so old I didn't realize it. I was trying to cut it with the old fashioned, like with the single hand one, because I didn't want to break this thing. And I'm glad I didn't, because it actually like one of the pieces of wood that was on there to like help it stay in place, it just straight broke off. I was like, oh, okay.
Do you think you could injure yourself by accident if you do this stuff wrong?
I feel like, yeah, like if you're because of the how tense it is. I think if you're like being really stupid and just trying to brute force through it, if it snaps, it could actually like come back and hit you pretty hard or something.
These are cool. These wooden wicks are nice.
I like them.
I like them. The cross ones, those are pretty cool. Those stay lit. The other one I got lit earlier just takes like a little extra
that one
second.
sometimes you have to like kind of flick off a little bit of the top. It's weird.
Is that what you have to do?
Yeah, I don't know why they do that. Some of them will work.
Yeah,
great,
no, the
but-
first two you sold me, they were like they lit up like no problem.
Yeah,
Like,
I've
okay,
had
I
it
see.
happen. And see, I don't understand that either to me, because it's like it's
Nice.
weird. It's like you almost have to like put
Yeah,
it
no.
down lower, and I'm like, what?
Yeah, the
Oh, but
I got the other one working.
yeah, those Crosswicks though.
They smell
burn.
so good, dude. Fucking
I
yeah.
love them. One of my favorites.
Right on. Yeah, what's your favorite scent that you make?
Oh, I think so. There's two new ones I do. One's Italian lemon and juniper water, and then the other is a cardamom tea and grapefruit. I really like both of those because like one is that really nice, fresh, outdoorsy scent, and then the other is that like kind of sweeter fall reminiscent one, but it still has that grapefruit, so it's not like that heavy, pumpkin spice scent.
How do you pick your scents? There was something you told me that was a clever business thing.
It's so what I like to do is I order a bunch of different especially like this week they had a really good sale. Essentially a lot of their scents that were the 10 milliliter size, like the trial size basically, they are usually like anywhere from $3 to like $6. But this week only they're all 99 cents. So I went ahead and bought like 20 of those. So and then what I'm gonna do is try those out, have some customers be like, hey, which one of these do you like better? Then whenever I get some of those narrowed down, I'll make some candles out of those and see how well they do. But yeah, pretty much I always just try and order whenever they have a sale or a collection or some new scents out. I always try and add one on just to test it. Gotten a lot, like I've gone through so many scents that usually it's like 30-40% of them will probably work.
So you do have to do that trial and error.
Yeah, only because like whenever you're looking at them online, it's someone's job to make them all sound like, it's like heavenly, it's this, it's that. But, you get it in and it might work for someone, but it might not be a good seller at all.
Because not everyone's nose is the same.
Yep. And that's the other thing too, is that if I don't like it and my mom doesn't like it, I still have to run it by a few other people, because there's scents that I sell in that store that I don't like, my mom doesn't like, but there's some of like the better sellers. That's always the hard part, but it's nice whenever they're cheaper though, because then you don't feel like, if you've spent like $4 on 10 milliliters of one, you're not like, oh shit.
Yeah, about a bunch of a bad smell.
Yeah, you're like, okay, cool. It was like $1.
Because that's hard to repurpose. It's a certain smell.
Yeah, because you can try mixing it with something else, but ultimately that's another trial and error, because it's like you can think you know how it'll blend, but then you actually, like I had this one that like they smelled really great like separately if you tried to like smell them together.
Sure, yeah.
Second you add them though, it smelled like the cheapest tequila I've ever.
Really?
Oh, it was like I smelled it and I was like, oh man, that brings me back.
I wonder if you could sell gag soaps like that.
I was even thinking, because I was like, man, this is something you could like sell as like a white elephant gift. Just be like, what is it called? Cheap tequila.
That's hilarious, man.
Yeah, it was. I mean, like you smelled it and you're like remembering back in the day whenever you're like asking someone to be like, hey, can you give me a bottle of something? And it's like cheap as crap, and you're like,
The salty stuff, the mezcal.
yeah, it just and it just like it was instantly you're like, no, and it didn't even, like I say, the scents separately, I would have never guessed that.
Really? Do you remember what the scents were?
It was like it was 2 coconut ones, and it was like coconut sorbet and some other coconut I have, but I'm like that. It's one that I know if I smelled it, I can guarantee you I'd be like, oh, yep, that was the culprit.
Man, I can't even imagine losing my sense of smell.
Oh, that actually I had during
Seems so crucial.
during COVID. One of the people, like the actually lady who does my website, her daughter was helping us out around the store a bit, and she had gotten COVID, and she was out for like 3 weeks, but whenever she didn't get her sense of smell back for like 8 months.
Fuck, dude.
Yeah. So and it was
man.
And it was funny as I always felt like kind of a dick because I'm sitting there and I'd be like
crazy.
making this new blend and I'm like, oh, you gotta smell it. It smells so good. And she's looking at me like, I'm so sorry.
That's like telling a blind guy, dude, check this piece of art out. Oh.
And every time I did it, you're like, never mind. And eventually she started laughing and I'm like, maybe I'll remember one day.
It's good it came back. But
But I was sitting there thinking, I'm like, I'd be so screwed if I lost that sense of smell. I'm like, that's my whole job.
That's your whole job.
And taste too, but taste would just be more depressing.
What would you do if you lost your sense of smell?
Probably rely on my mom for pretty much all the new.
Dewey Cox.
Yep.
for Walk Hard.
Yep. That would be one of those ones where I just keep doing my, I would stick to what I've done for all those other ones. If there's any new scent,
You wouldn't switch it up? You wouldn't go into a new business?
No.
You would Beethoven it up. You'd
Yep.
stick that deaf ear to the floor and
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
make it happen?
I'd figure that one out. I'm like, I know there's a way to.
That's respect, man.
Yep.
Beethoven went down in the books.
I was gonna say, and I always forget that. I'm like, 'cause he was so freaking good, and you forget that it was like,
Yeah,
he
no,
couldn't.
I think that was Beethoven, right? He would put his ear to the ground. He would cut the legs. Let's check it out. Let's see what we can.
I see that.
Beethoven deaf cuts legs off piano.
Right?
No, that's I think what he did
That would make
to get
sense.
the tones to resonate through
So
the
he could
floor.
feel it.
So that's the only way he could like play and like hear. Like he would like feel it through his neck. And actually, I've experienced this like by tuning my guitar. If I like bend my neck in a certain way and I like touch the neck up against my jaw and I
Yeah.
kind of like close off the ear. I don't know. It's just by moving it.
Yeah.
It'll like I'll hear it like it's a. And I'm sure anyone can do this. It's your body, but
Right.
it's like a headphone. Like
Oh yeah.
it's like putting the wood right up to your jaw, and then you've got to kind of like
Mm-hmm.
really lean into it, and like somehow it puts that right in your ear. It's crazy.
That's cool.
So here it says Beethoven cut legs off piano in his later years when the deafness affected his ability to compose properly. He sawed the legs off his piano and used the floor as a sounding board, lying with his ear to the wooden floor and hitting the piano notes at various volumes to gauge if the volume fitted with the music. He could hear it in his head. That's fucking dedication. That is literally that's literally telling the universe, I don't care what you do to me, I'm going to do this thing.
Yeah. Someone's
So
like, "Oh, we're
that's-
taking away your hearing, so you can't do this." I'm still gonna.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome. You'll find a way if you lose. I don't
That's
think
what
you're
I-
gonna lose your smell.
yeah.
I don't put that evil on you.
Oh, I know, but yeah, that's what I always think. I was like, I mean, there's, where there's a will, there's a way. I mean, but I didn't know I knew he was deaf, but like I feel like whenever they're talking, people are talking about Beethoven or something, they skip over that, there's like, oh, he was deaf and did all this.
I think this was also in his later years too. Oh yeah, it says there in his later years.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So I mean, it was a deafness that developed, and I don't know if it was a full deafness, but it was definitely inhibitory to where you just couldn't hear regular music.
Yeah.
But it is crazy. I mean, so don't give up on
Yep.
your dreams, people.
Never.
Whatever you want to do. If your hands are cut off and you're an artist, I don't know. Use your feet.
That reminds me, I actually saw this really cool thing about there's like some gamers out there that are like literally like one arm. And they've like, I don't know if you've seen, but they like engineered the controller to like you like put it on like your knee, and that's how you like move around. Then you aim, and like the buttons are all to where you can basically they're all like the D-pad is like toggled to where you can press them up here.
Let's see if we can find a picture of that. What would that be called? A
one-handed controller, I think.
A prosthetic gaming controller.
Yeah, because it's like really cool because it like
amputee?
fits the frame on like your knee, so that's how
That's
you like
cool.
move, like in like a first-person shooter, and then you aim and yeah, there's like some cool things. Like that one on the left is probably the closest to it, I think. But see, there's a video of someone using it because like it was really cool watching this guy do it.
I'm gonna look something up just real quick.
Yeah, that's it. That one
ahead.
right there. How I play.
We'll
with
just mute it. You can play just a clip of it and mute it.
Yep, that's the one.
Yeah, and then pause it. That's cool. That is dope.
Yeah.
So he puts it on his knee,
And like that's how I guess with him, since it must be his right hand that's missing.
What are those things? Are those like protrusions on top of the controller? What are those?
So those the 4 buttons there, or the
Because all those 4 buttons are completely on the other side with the left. Like you can still game with one hand. I didn't know that.
I didn't either, and I feel like, gosh, I feel like it'd be a lot harder to just with the way like I play video games, like that would be even harder because you want to like aim usually with your finger, but he's aiming with his knee. I mean, obviously you can't choose which arm you lose, but I'm like that's the harder version for sure. Because I'm like I could
Would
see
you still
moving
game?
around.
Would you still game if you lost your arm like that?
Would, but I would not probably play first person shooters anymore.
Nice. Yeah, with 3D printing, you can get a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Made. I'm gonna send Cameron. I'm gonna send something on the Google Drive right now. Now that we're related to like some prosthetic stuff. This is a really funny video I came across.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I can tell you one game I'd keep playing would probably be some of the Final Fantasy series. Especially the turn-based ones, because you know what I mean.
I live in a world where most of the people that I see have arms that are longer than me, and
At least you got some.
I live in a world where
Damn.
This is
At least you got some. Damn.
it's so funny. So for anyone listening, because we're talking about prosthetics and gaming with one arm, there was this video I found. It's this dude with like shorter arms. I guess they're not fully developed.
Yeah.
And he's talking to a woman with no arms. And let's hear what he says again. We could turn it up just a little bit. It's really funny.
most of the people that I see have arms that are longer than me,
At
and
least you got some.
I live in a world.
She just that look up and down. She gives him a full eyeball look up and down. At least you got some arms. Yeah, see, that's that good sense of humor because they know they're on camera. It's like they're like in a set. It's a white background. They're opening up about their situations. I love that sense of humor. About,
I do too.
See, that's real body positivity. It's something they cannot change, but they're willing to work with it.
Yeah,
and be who they are.
I like it. I always that's great. But yeah, I'm like I just love seeing the accessibility and stuff like that.
There's
cool.
actually, let me see if I can. Cameron, can you type in one other thing? It's called you can do it right there in this TikTok search bar. Actually, would be praying mantis prosthetics 3D printed, and I saw these independent 3D printers designing like insect prosthetic limbs for people with This is so weird, man.
Dude, what the fuck is that?
Yep. Let's mute that. First fitting of the Mantis prosthetics, testing the joints, and it's this chick with no legs. She's got a regular kind of like prosthetic leg on, but it looks like they're working. It's definitely looks like stilts. It's 3 sections. It's a top, a middle, and a really long bottom one, and it looks like a legitimate praying mantis prosthetic leg. It's got spikes and it is so cool. So, I mean, just imagine that this stuff becomes more popular because people love the body modifications, especially in this country. They love, leaning into the aesthetic of things. And I just think if this, could be popularized, if it can be sold and produced, if it was 3D printed and people were down with it, that'd be cool with people walking around with just...
And I was even thinking, I'm like, man, you could actually do some you have some really niche things for that, and like in the Hollywood makeup department, you know what I mean, like doing things like that, and doing haunts and scares and stuff. Like you could make, because I mean, you'd have literally an advantage that turning your disadvantage into an advantage there. I think it's terrifying, but that is so cool though. Just the spikes on that thing are like, what the...
Would you wear prosthetics like that if you ever were missing limbs?
No? Unless they were like, I could get them to make me like some sort of super jump kind of thing, then sure, yeah. But they'd have to enhance my, I have to be able to be doing some cool comic book crap.
They're getting good, dude. The things, the replications of muscle tissue and pressure and joints for robotic arms, they're getting very, very impressive. Elon Musk is unrolling this Tesla bot pretty soon, isn't he? The AI, the Tesla robot.
I literally just saw something about that this morning too.
Right,
it was
it's coming. That's going to be an interesting one. It doesn't have a face, right?
I think
they did that for a reason. I mean, to dehumanize it a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's see what that Tesla bot looks like. Yeah, it's just kind of like a regular Android looking bot.
Yeah.
That's the concept. White with like kind of a, it's wearing almost like a hijab of color.
Yeah, that's kind of cool though.
It's total white body with like a hijab of black on top. Yeah, it says it can't walk, but Musk plans to make millions on them. Boston Dynamics got it figured out. These companies just need to work together. It's like the space race, you know?
Yeah.
You know, because there's a whole bunch of different things going into it. On another note, have you heard the most recent chess scandal?
Was it with that anal beads thing? Okay,
Yeah,
I have
dude.
actually not like read much about it.
I read
but-
into it a little bit. So this is what happened.
Yeah.
So basically, from what I read, Magnus Carlsen, which is like the world reigning champion.
Yeah.
He's playing against this 19-year-old kid. I can't remember his name. I'm sure you'll find it.
Yeah.
But so basically, they played a few moves, and then Magnus Carlsen tipped his king and resigned, and was like, "This kid's cheating." And I don't know. From my take on it, is if Magnus is so advanced, he might just understand like this is the way an AI bot plays. Like I've played against this bot, and the only way this kid is playing is if he's receiving. So people will say, how can he get it? They check things, and then Elon Musk put out a tweet. Can we check Elon Musk's actual tweet? It's ridiculous. He says something about bodily inserts can be felt with vibrations, giving the correct answers, and it has been,
I wondered where it started from, like because I was like, okay, but how did
let's go a little more specific. Yeah, let's type in Elon Musk, Magnus Carlsen anal beads. Yeah, and then it's let's see if it comes up with the tweet. Cheated, used anal beads. I don't know. So basically, the claim and the alleged claim is that this new hot upcoming kid who's like hot on the chessboard, he's playing well, he's playing against Magnus, making incredible moves, and they think he's receiving vibrations in code through the anal beads. And he's admitted to cheating on chess.com as a younger kid twice, and he's made public statements saying it was the worst decision of his life. And the actual chess federation or whatever, they're making statements like we're gonna make higher security measures, and so who knows if they're gonna like start like metal the
I was about to say
the
you're gonna
abdomens and
have
stuff.
to like turn your head and cough and all that before you go sit down at the.
And they're just accusations, we don't know, but it's like pretty plausible in this timeline with the flying goose.
Yeah, and I mean, and the way I see all the cheating scandals, with like Fortnite tournament, video game tournaments all the time too. I'm like, I mean, honestly, I don't really put it past anyone. I mean, I can say I wouldn't. If I was gonna, try and cheat in something, I can definitely tell you if that was how I would have to cheat, then there's nothing that's worth it to,
I mean, why? Yeah, he really. I mean, this is the Beethoven to the ear thing. He's not smart enough to really play chess, so he says, "Fuck you, universe.
Yeah,
I'm gonna figure this out one way or another."
And they're all like, "Okay," he's probably all thinking like, "Okay, if this is true, obviously," but he's probably like, the only thing I can imagine, like, she's thinking, "Okay, no, I can't have my phone," and that's gonna be too obvious. They're gonna know that, this is gonna come up in the metal detector. But you know what? They won't be checking. The good old prison wallet.
The prison wallet. That was probably the term he had. Whatever language he was thinking, that was most likely the term he...
I mean, it's yeah, I mean, I can tell you right now, if I was security, they don't pay me enough to check that.
Yeah, this is nuts. I think I don't know. I think it's a higher possible probable thing that happened than not.
And yeah, and it was the fact that I guess the
very...
guy recognized it so quickly too.
Well, that's the other thing is like, why would Magnus like fold after like 2 moves? I don't even know how many moves it was, but it was really quick. And they played like 1 or 2 games, and then excuse me. Yeah, I read Magnus's statement saying that he just doesn't want to play with cheaters basically, and that he's gonna take some time. And yeah, it's a whole thing.
Oh,
who knows?
That was still one of the craziest things. I remember like there's a cheating accusation, and I'm like thinking like, okay, cool, how you cheat in chat? And then I see the anal beads thing come out, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
It could be Elon Musk trolling because he's just a troll genius,
That was the thing I thought about too. Is I'm just like, this man does like to just stir the pot a little bit.
Because what if the kid really is smart? And what if Magnus Carlsen really is just losing his wits about him? He's just an ego trip away from.
And that's one of those things.
being
How do you
beat.
actually prove? You know what I mean? Like how I got
Can
nothing
only
on that
prove
one.
it on the board, and they've got to play naked.
Yep.
That's the only way.
Then people are probably going back and watching that, and like anytime he does anything and like moves a little bit, they're like, oh, was that?
Dude, that would sell more tickets than the NFL. It really would.
Naked chess.
Everyone would watch chess if the.
Naked chess. Yeah, I mean, I gotta say, the idea of watching regular chess doesn't usually even like appeal to me. But if it was naked chess, I don't know.
Have you heard of chess boxing?
No.
This is a legitimate sport. Here, let's dive into this real quick. Let's type in chess boxing, and I think it's Russian.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
But they do like a round of chess and then a round of boxing and then a round of chess and then a round of boxing.
Yeah, it's gotta be.
It's great.
In Russia.
World Chess Boxing Championships, and let's go to TikTok just because the YouTube double dip is a little.
Oh, they get all weird.
It's just what is it? Copyright claim.
Yeah,
because
I was gonna
it's
say.
already like in the system of YouTube, so when it sees the same video, it like already knows it's here, and then yeah. So boom. Yeah. So one round.
Competitors play alternating rounds of blitz chess and boxing until one wins by checkmate or knockout.
There's two
Typically,
different
events are
ways.
held in a standard boxing ring using standard amateur boxing equipment and rules.
I love
The
it
chess
because
round
it's
is also played in the ring with the table, board, and seating being moved.
dude. Fuck the whole Western. Let's take 20 paces and turn around and shoot each other. This is the most superior form of combat to another opponent. That's like if all right, if I can't outsmart you, I can beat the shit out of you. And then that determines the real winner.
I'm like, that's what I think. Now imagining like the next, next like Disney Channel movie or something. I'm just imagining those things where it's like, oh, we're gonna have a tournament, and they're like, oh yeah, well it's gonna be a chess tournament. Watch it just straight up be like, okay, there's only one fair way to decide this: chess boxing. Nerds are like, wait, what?
I mean, hey, I'd watch that between Magnus and what is his name? Nakita. He's like, I don't even know where he's from.
I mean, I just love the fact that imagine like your opponent pulls some like really like dick move, and you're just and then the bell goes, and you're like,
yeah, dude, that would be some sweet revenge, and I think that's the point too.
I mean, I would have honestly never thought of combining those two sports, but I mean, I can't say that I'm not loving it.
Can we? You're not loving it?
Oh, I'm loving it.
Oh, you
like,
are
I mean,
loving it?
I'm absolutely loving it. Like,
I would play this. If it wasn't. I mean, if the dude was like generally my size. If it's like just a monster, I don't think I would play chess boxing.
Yeah, like a few people I worked with at some point, I'm looking at it and I'm like, yeah, no, I want you on my side in a fight. Like, you're like twice my size.
We're hitting close to 2 hours. Is that what that is? Cool. We can push it a little longer. I want to let's see if we can see the reaction videos for the slap fights if we still have some.
Yes.
So you're aware of slap.
Yes.
Oh, that's okay. Did you stop the recording? Are you on OBS? Did you stop the recording?
No, we're fine. I don't know where the video's at.
Oh, if it's still recording, it's not going to put the video anywhere.
No, it's still recording. I don't know where the reaction videos went.
Oh, they're probably on a different tab. Are we still streaming on Twitch?
Yeah, we're still
Okay, that's cool. I mean, anything I can do post editing as long as that record button is on, that'll give us a file. That's cool. If you go to drive.google.com, my drive, that'll be where the reaction videos are. You'll see them. Boom. And then we can double click that. Control F, slap fight. And that's all the reaction videos. This was back when like Will Smith was slapping the Chris Rock.
Yeah. I remember that.
Yeah, that's I don't know, maybe those links went away. Some of those links get taken down because they're like incitement of violence, even though they're perfectly in good competition in a competitive area. That's very weird that it's pulling up different videos for all these links.
Yeah, I hate when it pulls it for those reasons, though, because you're like, okay, but this is like a competition that two grown men agreed to. Like, this isn't promoting.
Yeah, I don't know. This is very weird. We don't have to watch them. But I saw a slap fight the other day, like competitive, where it was a dude hitting a woman.
Oh,
Yeah, man. That was tough to watch, man. But, you know,
I'm like, I mean,
it looked consensual.
yeah. See that's a tough one because it's like, you're always raised like, don't hit a woman, but I'm like, man, that's
If she ever challenges you to like a slap fight, just be like, let's do chess boxing instead.
Yeah, there we go. There we go. Just be like, yeah, this somehow
just
feels better.
Up the stakes for real, right?
And I don't know, there's something, I feel like there's just something different about, gloving up and like, I don't know. I mean, you're still beating someone up, but.
There is, there's one Twitter guy that was talking shit about some female MMA fighter. And she tweeted back at him and gave him like the details of her gym, a time, a date to actually spar. And I don't know if he's gonna do it, but I don't even know the names.
Yeah,
these fights are starting to go down, man. And I think America's going off the rails. I don't think men and women need to be beating the shit out of each other to prove any points. I don't know what your take is on it, but it's like, hey, man, if they really want to fight, I mean, like.
I see. That's the thing is, it's like it's I don't know. It'd have to be one of those things where it's like you're fighting and there's like a lot of money at stake, and then in that case, sure, man, it's
Fuck
for
the money. You could die in the ring, dude.
Yeah, that's what I say. I mean, we're talking. It could be like millions of something, and then all right, cool. But even then, I personally wouldn't do it. I'm like, I'd probably want to stay in my weight class.
Oh, dude, I wouldn't even fight an MMA woman because she'd beat the shit out of me,
dude. I'm like, I
could get my ass whooped, bro.
Oh, that's what I love. She tweets back the date and time. I'm like, yeah, that's a hard no for me. I'm like, oh my gosh, no. Like, she would destroy me. Like, I mean, like from a professional, like if you were like a professional, sure. But I'm like, yeah, no, no. I've seen some of those fights with like Ronda Rousey and stuff, and I'm just like, I'm good. Like, I don't want to take that punch. First of all, I don't even think I'd be good in a fight. And second, I'm good. I just don't like pain.
You never been in a tussle or a quarrel?
Most is like the
altercation.
I think most was like schoolyard, like pushed you down. And that was it. Like dude pushed me down, I pushed him down, and teacher came, and that's pretty much it. No actual like squaring up.
It's good you've avoided that in Albuquerque this whole time.
Yep. Usually, I got real good on the bus and everything of just keeping your head down, just not making eye contact.
Sunglasses and headphones, man.
Yep. I think it was like funny as I was watching one of those like 60 Days In or something. Some of those shows about prison and or anyone talking about that, and you're always, in prison you always got to keep your head down and everything. I'm like, okay, so prison or Albuquerque?
I mean, yeah, but we got to also walk with our shoulders high.
Yeah, you got to like find a way to find that good balance. But then I saw this one that's really
fat.
Yeah. Saw this really funny video about this one thing, and it was just like secrets to living a long life. And it was this, like, I think it was like a skit, but lady, like a news reporter comes up to this guy and she's like, excuse me, sir, did you witness anything last night? And he just says, witness? Is that camera rolling? Oh, no. Actually, I'm blind in my left eye. And matter of fact, I'm 43% blind in my right eye. And it was just, and everyone in the comments just saying like, yep, that's how you live a longer life.
Is just play dumb.
Yeah, you didn't. Especially if someone asked you if you witnessed something. I don't know.
That's a good piece of advice.
Depends on where you are, I guess, really. But like if I'm on the bus, I'm usually keeping my head down
because I didn't see shit, Dad. What? Well,
because especially on the bus, you got some of the like. Sometimes you got the meth heads.
Dude,
you look at them wrong.
Yeah, man.
It's on. Like
you're right about it. You're right about that. That's why I like sunglasses and headphones, and then like you pretend like you're just like. I don't know. It's weird to ride a bus and be like extremely uncomfortable in a situation where like you're just looking at someone could entice them to just want to like you're looking at me. What you want to fight?
No, really though, I've actually seen that happen before. Like,
dude, I've seen some shit too.
Oh, it's crazy. That's why I'm just kind of sitting there like I hated the other day when I got on a bus. Like dudes just yelling every curse word in the book, trying to antagonize people. Like was trying to like, I literally went to like every single person on the bus, and I'm just like on my phone like.
Yeah, I'll take a boombox any day.
Oh, yeah,
over that.
That's the thing that's funny is that used to almost bug when I first started riding the bus. I was like, oh, man, someone's got their music blaring. And after like a week, I was like, that's it? All right, cool. That's all we got to deal with? All right, I'm fine. Let's do it.
Would you hop in the self-driving cars?
Oof. Have you seen that show Upload?
No.
Okay, only reason I like a little hesitant on that one is just self-driving car, putting a lot... The amount of times my computer fucks up.
Okay.
It's just that like I mean it I would need to know what kind of redundancies it had in it. Like if this were to happen, because I got a lot of like if and scenarios. Like what if these two didn't communicate properly? What's your backup? Is there a backup sensor? Is there like a motion sensor if it fails to communicate properly with the car? Because it's obviously humans driving aren't really the safest either, but like. I don't want to be like an accident because like two cars are coming at each other and just neither one could communicate with the other one. And as far as they knew, in their computer minds, it was an open road.
Right. Yeah.
Like that's an interesting one. I would need to wait a bit for.
But you even like briefly like mentioned like getting locked in.
Oh, that would be. I mean,
like if it locked you in, right?
That could be bad. That's where I want to make sure the windows are like the
can
standard break ones.
Well,
but
that's where you can go to these cool websites and get all these crazy things to break these windows.
Yeah,
I mean, it's good to have these tools in your car, man. You never know where lakes come out of nowhere.
Nope, they do. And also, I actually found out in most cars, the reason like your headrest pops out so easy is it's meant to be used to break your window.
No shit.
Yeah, that's actually so if you have your all standard headrests, they're meant to pop out so you can have those points.
That's a piece of life-saving information.
Yeah, I read that and I was like, okay, seriously? Car salesmen talk a lot of shit, tell you about what the fucking tires can do, all the shit, but I'm like, they should probably, even in driver's ed maybe, I don't know if they did in driver's ed, it's been so long ago, but I'm like, that I don't recall ever hearing.
Well, that makes sense to me because I watched a Mythbusters where they're like, what does it take to break a car window? And they took a steel boot with a real flat kind of surface area, and it wouldn't break the window because the surface area of the boot was just too great. They were stomping on this window with a steel boot, and the car window wouldn't break. But when they took a tiny little pick to it, it'd go bing, and it shattered because of it's just like.
It's like the tempered glass the way it is. It's like it's got really good like surface area, like force for that, but it's. Yeah, I don't know exactly how they design it, but yeah, when I read that, I was like, okay, I feel like this should be a little more common information. I mean, I didn't know that. That makes sense.
The two little headrests. Oh, man.
Meant to, just punch those windows right out. And I got to say, I don't think I ever would have put two and two together on that one unless I'd read it.
Yeah, my piece of knowledge about the headrest is not as useful. It's that in movies they remove the headrest in cars because you get a better camera shot of the people, and in TV shows too.
I never thought about that either.
No, there's something you'll never notice until you hear it, and then when the next time you see a movie in a car scene, you'll be like, they don't have headrests on. And I can see the actors. So.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, and it's funny. Yeah, you're right, because until it's mentioned, I never once I was just kind of looking, and I'm like, now all I can see is that. I'm like, oh yeah, they don't have headrests there. But it's funny is you'll see like a shot of the car from the front, and they'll have the headrest, but then later on, you're like, oh, wait a second.
Movies playing mind games. It's all that perspective. We got to keep a good perspective about things.
Oh, yeah. I do love the movie magic, too. Like some of the stuff they do, like with this, just from like special effect shots. I'm like, that stuff always makes me like, what?
Right on. Hey, are there any last things you want to say about Levon Blue? Or to like your future grandchildren?
Right. I think we got the holidays coming up, and we're gonna be having even more stuff coming out. So
can we bring up that website on the screen there, levonblue.com? I'll type it in here. Oh, did I mess it up? You got it.
I think it's time for me to get new glasses, so I'm like, I can barely read that.
It's okay. Yeah, well, that's why he zooms it in because, there we go. So, yeah, what were you going to say about your stuff here? Season's coming up.
Say holidays are coming up, and we do special orders. Like you guys, if anyone wants any scent and something different than what we have, I can usually make it in just about anything. So we do a lot of custom orders, and, we're looking forward to a busy holiday season.
Hell yeah, and then we'll do just one last closeout on our own website here at delaostudios.com. That's DELAO studios.com. And our rags are finally here. I mean, this is my idea here. It's not my idea. It's my brother's idea. And he's like, why would you sell T-shirts and mugs? The show's calls Riches and Rags. Sell rags. So
makes sense.
I actually got a honest Printful review video in the pipeline that's going to come out this week too for anybody who's using Printful and who wants like more information on the quality of these. I kind of break these down in a longer video. So be sure to check that out on the channel. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate your time. Jordan, thank you.
You got it. Thanks for having me.
Have a great day, everybody.